Welcome to the MCG, the most anticipated match of the season, Essendon and the Kangaroos. Particularly welcome our Adelaide viewers who have just joined the coverage. As you can see, it is a pretty good day at the moment. It's fine and the conditions very good. There is the threat of rain, but at the moment all is set for what should be a fantastic match. Corey McKernan playing game number 150. And with us this afternoon, along with Dougie Hawkins, Kevin Bartlett and Jared Healy. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Anthony, and what a privilege it is to be here. And, well, surprises already from Kevin Sheedy, just having a look at his bench. It includes Jacobs, Moorcroft, Barnard, but most surprisingly, Ramanauskas.
Yes, and let's go down to Richard Osborne on the boundary line.
How are you, KB? How are you, boys? Fantastic conditions. There was a little bit of light rain early, but at the moment, blue skies, light breeze. The Bombers, as normal, came out very early and did a huge warm-up. I'm not surprised they are rated #1 in scoring in the first quarters. The Kangaroos decided not to 6 minutes past 2 until they entered the arena, so it will be interesting to see how both teams do go in the first quarter. Wherever you are watching this game from, enjoy. It's going to be a beauty.
Thanks, Ozzy. And your selection this afternoon, KB?
I'm tipping the Bombers.
Jared?
Ditto. Going with the Bombers. And there's a bit of how do you do? And this is interesting because whilst Calthorpe is nominally a half forward, I reckon he'd be doing a fairly defensive job on Damien Hardwick, one of the best players in the competition this season off half-back.
A couple of old mates there too, sorry Hutto, a couple of old mates, Essendon player Calthorpe.
Wayne Carey has gone into defence, and it looks like he's going to line up on James Hurd.
Well, this is interesting. What a matchup. And, I mean, Dennis Pagan really has to try something, Kevin. If they go in and just play normal style of footy, they're going to get beat the way the Bombers are going.
Yes, and there's Glenn Archer. He's in the forward line for the Kangaroos.
So what a prospect. The unbeaten Bombers against last year's premiers, the Kangaroos. Essendon kicking to left of screen. The James Hurd won the toss. And we are ready to go at the MCG. Johnny Barnes and Matthew Capuano with the opening centre bounce honours, and Capuano first blood, and he went again. Johnson, though, getting help from Blumfield, and they are away, the Bombers. Caracella, Motlop did pretty well, but well done Caracella in the end. He also had trouble getting anything decisive. Shannon Grant versus Mercedes, well wrapped up. Blumfield, though, gets the pass in. It's a good kick. They could have ravelled at Hurd and Lucas.
Well, problem here, Hutto, because Lucas has been manned up by John Blakey. And, well, Carey and him looked at each other. Carey and Blakey looked at each other. They were going to do the swap, but I think they decided to stay with their preset plans.
Here he is then, Scott Lucas. Real chance for the Bombers to get first blood. You can see it go sailing right through the middle. What a start.
Well, Jared, he just touched on that, and I think no doubt about that Carey will go back onto Lucas. Blakey, I thought, would have the job on Hurd. He did right about, they looked at each other to make the change, and I'm pretty sure they'll do that once again here very, very quickly. We've seen the Bombers, we know they do start very quickly here, and there's Blumfield's been a great player, particularly up in their midfield, and a great kick here to Lucas. Over air, in the air, be just too good for John Blakey.
Well, he really has started with a tall forward line. Steve Alessio down there also, and they just are one tall defender short here at the moment.
And McCartney has gone to pick up James Hurd, and Wayne Carey has moved across onto Alessio. So that move has already been made. So Carey no longer on James Hurd, and Alessio will probably drag Carey deep into defence, I would suggest. Peter Bell, such an important player to Simpson. The midfield will have to fight today. They'll have to do better than that. Hardwick from half-back, pumps the ball down. He's looking for Alessio, got the bounce he wanted, tries to keep the ball alive. Finally over the line for a toss back in.
Well, you're spot on, KB. As soon as Carey went on to Alessio, he went from the half forward to the full forward, and the change being made by the Kangaroos, Doug.
Yeah, Blakey now has got on the Hurd, Jared. That's the one we really wanted to see. McCartney now has gone to pick up Lucas, and as you said before, Carey's playing that, I suppose, a kick behind the play in the defence.
Capuano caught behind Alessio. So good at ground level, the Bombers. So many players. They'll share the ball around Heffernan. In game number 50, cops one in the back. Jason Johnson goes to ground. Pickett squeezed up on the line. Finally steps over. Such a talented forward line for the Bombers. With James Hurd. And, of course, Lucas kicked 32 goals for the season now. It's a potent forward line. And you throw in Matthew Lloyd. 58 goals for the season. Mark McCurry. It's the who's who of football. Alessio pushing and shoving this time. Winning the ball down, the Bombers kick a high ball. Carey with the set. And that's why he's back there. He's back there to try and stop this initial onslaught from the Bombers, to try and stop the Bombers from not getting a fly.
Well, he goes out wide, gets King. Just look a little stagnant at the moment, the Kangaroos. He goes up onto the wing. Archer was the target, and he gave Barnes a little shove. He gave him a little shove, and the umpire picked it out.
Byron Pickett also is picking up Michael Long, so a good match up there.
Barnes. Switching play. There's 3 Bombers there, and I think they looked at each other. They weren't sure who to go for it. Solomon initially, now Hurd and Blumfield. Off the left, it's a low pass. It's a beauty. And Mercury takes the mark. And we just sit here and wonder and look at this magnificent Essendon forward line.
Yeah, Pike's got the job on Mercury as well. Good handball here by Hurd, who just waits to the last minute to get rid of the football. And a great kick once again by Blumfield.
Well, Solomon has popped in, and he's just got the little short pass from Mercury.
Well, Solomon is lined up on Glenn Archer, so I'm not sure what is happening there. And the runner is now out to Glenn Archer, talking to him.
Well, he's in the centre of the ground having a drink.
Yep.
Solomon comes in, starts at a little left, and that's the way it stays.
Jared, Glenn Archer actually got caught out when he was given that free kick against him. He was on the mark, and Dean Solomon took off straight away.
Well, good play by Dean Solomon in the finish, but couldn't quite convert.
Pickett goes short, finds Bell. It's been magnificent for him this year, Peter Bell. Just continues to win the ball. Averages 11 handballs a game. McCartney from half-back, a centering kick. Barnes, what a season he's had. He's just added so much to the Bomber lineup. Enjoying his best ever season. James Hurd licks the fingers and takes the mark.
He did too. He had time almost to anticipate it.
Well, he does that a lot, James Hurd, if you watch him closely. He likes to lick the fingers. And on this particular occasion, he's got so much time, exactly what he does.
Oh.
And John Blakey over the top.
That's a great get, Caper.
James Hurd, 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. The Roar will tell the story.
Oh, he's good.
Well, finger licking good. No doubt about that one. That was quite an amazing sight. I'm sure we're going to see that a few times this week.
Might see it on Talking Footy.
We may well do, and there he goes. James Hurd, great conversion, by the way, but the body language by the Bombers here is quite ominous. This is a blockbuster. We're all looking forward to a competitive match. Let's hope we get one.
Well, the Kangaroos now need to respond. First couple to the Bombers. Kangaroos really haven't been forward in any meaningful way. They've got it out of the centre a couple of times, but that's about where it's ended. Pickett gets it to half forward. Again, this excellent half back line of Essendon ready to repel. Wellman was well tackled, though. He had support. Johnson gets it onto the wing, and there's a couple there. Here's Namesake, gives it off. Little kick from Caracella out wide is okay. Blumfield's inside 50 as he fires away for the Bombers' third and gets awfully close. He really has, in the last few weeks, just kicked up his game to another level, Blumfield, Jared.
I agree. He's a very talented player, and he's just one of many in the side. But I think one of the dangerous and worrying signs here for the Kangaroos is the inside 50, Doug.
No doubt about that, Jared. Essendon on 5 occasions already. Blumfield 3 times out of their 5. Kangaroos on naught.
Pike to McKernan. That's what the Kangaroos have got to see today. Corey McKernan playing in front. He was fantastic in the grand final last year. He must fire today, along with Wayne Carey and Archer. The high flyer was Fletcher. Ground level, Solomon, the young man from North Broken Hill, taken by Archer, pumps the ball back. Inside 50, a juggle mark. Not paid that time by Kelthorpe. Pulled Hardwick off the ball. Harvey goes to ground. Hardwick got a shove in the back, and it was just shoveled out that time by Fletcher. So the Bombers, with these runners coming from everywhere, Jason Johnson pumps it to Barnes, playing the kick in front of the play, not behind the play, in front of the play. They'll rocket the ball forward. Look at Johnson. He's come down from half back, kicks to the square. This could bounce through. Magnificent.
Well, what a passage of play. Almost the Kangaroos marking goal to Kelthorpe. And then they just swooped on a half a mistake. And, well, Johnson has been a star all season. And Johnny Barnes, as you said, he's become that link player through the middle. He doesn't drop down into defence. They don't need him down there because their defence is so potent. And a very good running goal there to Johnson.
3-2-20. Kangaroos yet to score. They've been, well, simply awesome so far. Kangaroos just one meaningful venture forward, and that very quickly turned into an Essendon attack. Let's watch what happens this time. Bell gets rewarded. The team tackle there on Mercedes. Quickly getting the ball off. Harvey sending them along towards 4-4. McKernan one-on-one was in good position to mark, but just couldn't do it. He fights on. Calthorpe, gang tackled. Ball up the result.
I think it just shows you, Jared, how versatile the Essendon backline is. You've got Fletcher playing on Shane Clayton at this stage. Wallace is playing on McKernan. As KB said, McKernan needs a real big game, playing his 150th. And it looks like, of course, Archer with Solomon, and Harvey's been picked up by Mark Johnson. Yeah,
I think Clayton is also the dummy forward. I don't say that with any disrespect. He's just there to try and drag Fletcher away from defence.
Wellman got the tap down. Oh, McKernan tried to invent a goal there, and that's about the only way they look like they're going to get one at the moment. The Bombers running it over. Do you think, I mean, is it too early for Dennis Pagan to start making some changes, Jared?
I think it is. I mean, the game's 5 minutes old, whilst the score is 3-0. You've just got to, you go into a game plan, Hutto, you go into a match spending hours and hours thinking about it. You don't just throw it away because it's 20 points down. Solomon is a desperate player, hands and knees. Archer equal to the task. Chance now, Blumfield to Fletcher. He'll head towards the boundary line. A one-on-one contest, some pushing and shoving. Heffernan got big raps from Sheedy, changes gear. Runs away from Grant and pumps the ball back to the half-forward line. Hurd pushed off the ball. It was good defensive play by Blakey. Mick Martin falls on top of Lloyd, then puts the ball straight back over the line. Well, I think I agree with you, Jared, about making changes, but I think if Essendon kick another goal and the way the ball's coming out of the North Melbourne, the Kangaroos forward line, I just wouldn't be surprised that Kerry certainly will go back there a little bit earlier than maybe predicted. Boundary throw in 55 metres out from the Bombers' goal. Alessio, the juggler, tried to squeeze the ball out. Mercury, all class. Back to Lucas, kicked the early goal. Concedes ground, backtracks, gives it to Smoke and Joe, pumps the ball to the square. One for the high flyers, and there he is, the king. Not quite certain whether they can afford to take him out of defence at the moment. That's the point I was going to say, KB. That the defensive aspect of the Kangaroos game has been their Achilles heel this year. And if you take a Carey out and you put Archer back, well, you're just exacerbating their problem in that they've got a lack of height down there to guard Alessio. Well, it wasn't a great kick in terms of direction. Bombers going forward again. That time, though, cut off by Peter Bell, wearing the long sleeves today, as you can see. Essendon 3-2, Kangaroos yet to score. Having said all of that, though, Glenn Archer currently in the pocket. Whether or not he's just pushed down there to try and get a kick is another matter we'll have a look at. McKernan up onto the wing. Clayton. Runner talking to Carey. Pushing back, takes it. And setting it up to centre half forward. King flew amongst three Kangaroos. Mercedes got the handball away. Caracella goes back using Wellman. Got a couple of options. One was to the members' side, but he decides to go to the outer side and gets Dean Wallace. Goes to Hurd. Blakey behind, did well to get the fist to it, and it's over the line and out of bounds. I think Archer is back in defence, Jared. Yeah, he's gone on to Alessio. Carey's still hovering around the defensive area, though, so whether or not he's going to stay down there is debatable. He may just take up a rucking position.
I think, Jared, once the ball's coming down there, he'll hang around in defence, and when the ball goes forward, I think he'll have the licence to go forward. Mercedes, it's the post. So what a start for the Bombers. They've won 12 straight games. 3-3-21. Kangaroos yet to score. It's been an amazing season for the Bombers. And there's Caracella. Often starts on the interchange bench. Body language. Got a lot of these impact players, the Bombers, who just come off the bench, play so well. A centering kick. It's a poor one. Intercepted by Archer. No run really from the Kangaroos out of defence. Maybe Carey can set it up. It's a high ball. He finds Grant. Head to the centre square. The Bombers are very good at stopping the play. There's a poor kick. Luck's of fortune. Great tackle by Heffernan on Capuano. 3 against 1. Take a picture. Johnson can shovel the ball out to Mercury. Edge of the centre square. He's going to kick the ball down. He was looking for Hurd. It was a poor kick. Hands and knees. Blakey heads for the line. The Bombers may keep this alive. Lloyd 65 metres out to Heffernan, takes him on. Some fancy footwork. Gets around Mighty Mick, pumps the ball back. Barnes! Can't take it. Forced over for a behind. Well, they look so strong at the moment, don't they, the Bombers? They just look a very, very powerful combination.
I certainly do, KB, and I still want to say it now. I just reckon Carey, for the Kangaroos to win this game, Carey's got to be that goal kicker, because no one else really at the moment down their forward line can do the job.
Well, having trouble getting it down there at the moment. And I was just going to say before, the body language of the Kangaroos is not good, is it? You almost can't blame them, but hard to be positive after what we've seen so far, but a few arms going around.
Yeah, Dean Solomon will have to go after the blood. Well, it's funny, he's just pulled up his left sock to try and cover the blood, but the umpire's a bit too smart for that. He'll be off.
Well, they're a little bit shell-shocked at the moment. It's not often we see the Kangaroos at the 14-minute mark of the first term of a game with no score on the board.
Is it raining down there, Aussie, at the moment? Starting to rain?
Yeah, I'm just putting the old jacket on, Hawk. It's just starting to rain again, so that will not help the Kangaroos.
Who would the rain favour, do you think, Jared?
Well, I think at this stage, Hutto, the Kangaroos would be hoping for anything to change.
I was just going to say, they probably wouldn't mind a downpour.
Right at the moment, the dry isn't working, so the rain may be their saviour.
Mercedes to full forward. Lloyd one-on-one with Martin. Capuano getting back to help out. But they're still under the pump. He did well in the end, Big Matty. Off the left boot, McCartney. Again, the direction was... Alessio! Oh, the Gladiator just charging through. The left foot kick up to full forward again from Blumfield. Lloyd trying hard, just couldn't get it to boot in any meaningful way. Long creating a chance, but Byron Pickett in the last line, and he goes for a Sunday stroll.
Not a good spot to be at the moment in defence for the Kangaroos. They're under pressure. Pickett just takes a bit of a stroll to half-back and belts the ball back to McKernan. He's got Wallace to beat, goes to ground. They need some crummers. King just pushes Johnson over the line.
And McKernan is the key to this match for the Kangaroos. He has to take some marks. He's missed one opportunity just inside the goal square that he could have perhaps taken. They're the sort of marks that he has to grab. I know it is wet and miserable conditions at the moment, but if they are to be successful without Carey down there, he's got to be the man.
3-4-22 the Bombers. The Kangaroos yet to score. Alessio found himself in the reserves a couple of weeks ago, just being rotated, Kevin Sheedy said. Mercedes leaves it. Archer tries to belt it off the ground. Johnson goes to ground. And finally, squeezed up on the line. Motlop tries to keep it alive. He does. Lucas was clever play. Kicked off the ground again by Archer. Straight back over the line for a toss back in.
It's in the midfield too.
Starts to come down.
It's in the midfield too, Jared. You need Bell and Harvey really pick their work rate up. Harvey's had one touch. Bell's had 5. Inside 50. Essendon 14, particularly through their midfield. Kangaroos only inside 50 2 times.
McKernan and Barnes. They'll lock horns. McKernan giving the points. King tried to tickle the ball. Mercedes, clean hands. Barnes. So versatile and agile. Johnson again pumps the ball back. He's looking for James Hurd. Takes Blakey to ground. Thought he may have interfered with him. And the King across half back. He might have to do it at both ends of the ground today. And a very educated kick straight back over the line.
They seem to have, in that passage of play, Jared, had 2 extra men back, the ruckman plus Wayne Carey in defence, and Carey got the ball and just simply had no one to kick to.
Well, they're certainly in a stabilising mode at the moment, Hutto. When a side's kicked so many goals and inside 50 so often, they're just trying to, I guess, restructure and just get the game back to a competitive basis, and they've probably done that in the last 4 or 5 minutes without threatening the scoreboard themselves.
Wayne Carey, again, the situation at the moment, 2 extra players back in the Kangaroos defence. I thought Carey was going to come forward to this contest, but then he went backwards, so we watched McKernan give away a free kick, getting in the back of that ruck contest. Barnes, I think Essendon would go short here. He does go short. Sun coming out just as Mercedes was about to take the mark. The sun shower.
9th possession to Joe.
From behind, Capuano came through, didn't actually hold it. King, Archer and Martin. Martin with one of those famous helicopter kicks out onto the wing. Caracella, support there from Hardwick. Out of bounds.
Yeah, right there, Jared. Mercedes been very, very good in that midfield, and we just touched on it before. Looks like Peter Bell is his opponent, had 6 touches. So, but then again, Mercedes been very damaging with those 9 touches.
Blumfield's also had 8 touches, 4 and 4, so plenty of Bombers getting a lot of the ball. And here they go again, just combining beautifully. Touch number 10 for Mercedes to centre half forward. Lloyd was lurking, and was that Barnard popping up to snap at goal? And he couldn't join the list of goal kickers. It's now 3-5. And Kangaroos yet to score after 18 minutes. I wonder how long it is since the Kangaroos haven't scored after 18 minutes in a game of footy.
Well, they can't get the ball inside 50. Doug might be able to check how many times this quarter. I know it was 5-0 at one stage.
They've been inside twice, KB.
Pickett just kicks it to himself and really does pinpoint it to McCartney.
They've had to go wide though, KB, haven't they, on all their kickouts?
Well, they haven't been able to move the ball. The Bombers are so good at getting back. They've got a lot of hard runners and they've got physical size. Big fist there came from Wallace from behind at ground level. Lucas, because they've got these big key forwards, they can play up the ground as well, and you can still have likes of Mercury back, who great hands then, never really fumbled, he was held. Now they've paid advantage. Barnard 55 metres out. Here's a goal going to come up. Barnes has got it and bangs it through. This is an awesome performance we're seeing at the moment from a side that just might go through the season undefeated. I know the Kangaroos are the reigning premiers, but what we're seeing in this first quarter is an exhibition of size and skill that we haven't seen for a long time, Jared.
No, it's an outstanding performance, Kevin. And, well, at one end of the ground, the Kangaroos are relying on a couple of shorts to kick their goals. At the other end of the ground, we've got 4 superstars, all Australians.
Spider Burton coming on the ground, Dougie.
Yeah, it looks like Wayne Carey now has gone to centre half forward. I really did call that for probably 5 minutes ago, and his opponent will be Dustin Fletcher. What a great matchup that will be.
McKernan into the ruck, and Burton playing as that loose man across half back. So Dennis Pagan necessarily making changes. And another free kick going Essendon's way. Lake Carousella keeping it fairly low as he went out wide looking for Blumfield and Hurd. And Mark Johnson just ever so casual about that, wasn't it? The build-up as Long is 55 out. There's a vacant square. Burton pushing back. Oh, well, that was almost too clever for his own good. Barnard stretching the handball out wide. Now they may be overdoing it just a little bit. 4-5 is the Essendon lineup, and the Kangaroos yet to score. The ball out of bounds.
I think if Carey goes forward, the best thing to do is to isolate him down there with his opponent, Dustin Fletcher. Move everyone else up the ground so that at least you can really crowd it up for the Bombers. And we see there 19-2.
That is an amazing sticker.
9 scoring shots to 0 to the Kangaroos in favour of the Bombers.
But I think maybe crowding up the ball from the centre down to the Essendon forward line, leave Carey there, 1 out. Because if they do get the ball down there, we know that he's pretty difficult to beat. Hurd. Question is, can they get the ball down there?
I don't think they can, KB.
McCartney marks at half back. Looking for a loose player, trying to set up some run. David King inside the centre square, goes wide. Clayton's the target. Big fist away. Great defensive play by Barnard. Pounced on by Grant. Needs a big game today. Blakey, the veteran. Change of direction. Again, a poor kick. They just don't seem to have any direction at all at the moment, the Kangaroos. James Hurd, some fancy footwork, finds Michael Long, who just wobbles the ball down, looking for Mercury, traps it inside 50, cross the ground, and finds Alessio. They have loose players everywhere, the Bombers. And Clayton comes off, coming on as Troy Makepeace for the Kangaroos. And Stephen Alessio is lining up. He's kicked 8 goals for the season. Found himself in the reserves a couple of weeks ago, just to sharpen him up. And Mercury never wastes a possession. Alessio directly in front, 45 metres out. He likes it.
Well, they're taking all the fun out of it, the Bombers, I'm afraid, Dougie.
Well, Jerry, what about the footwork here of James Hurd? I mean, it's just pretty to watch. He sidestepped 3 or 4 players. It is here once again. Step 1 player there, I think it was Clayton, then over the top here to Long. I mean, in the vision 2 of Mark Mercury just to find his teammate Alessio. Great gather here by Mercury, and had plenty of time to steady up and just pass it across to him.
It's in great form.
Well, will they go through the whole quarter without getting a score, the Kangaroos? The Bombers Invincible at the moment, it seems. 5-5 to 0. Heffernan's kick going just short of 50 and at a bounce.
It's amazing stat, you know, the fact that the Bombers have gone through so far undefeated in the season. They've just got one player in the top 35 players in the competition in possessions, and that's James Hurd with 22 possessions a game. Just one in the top 35, yet they're undefeated this season.
Long getting Hurd back into the play again as he sits it up. Caracella takes the mark, and he can go back and shoot for Essendon's 6th goal.
It's just unbelievable here at the moment, Jared. It's a staggering stat here. There's the replay in a minute, but the inside 50, Essendon 21 times, 13 individual plays, Mercedes 4 times and Blumville 4 times, and the Kangaroos once again only on 2 occasions.
Well, I guess we've seen Carey go forward. The ball's gone inside their forward 52 times. So is he value up there in that forward line or not?
Not at the moment, he's not.
Put him on the ball. Probably nowhere else left to try.
You're allowed to clone footballs.
Caracella has kicked another one. Has he, or was it touched? I think it might have cleared the pack. It's another one.
No, they've got the A team of goal umpires on tonight, Hutto. On this afternoon. That had a B team over in Adelaide last night. But that one was absolutely spot on. Here he is again, James Hurd, just sliding around. What a player he is. It's debatable whether he's first or second or third best in the competition. That is a football semantics. He's just a star.
Wayne Carey just scratching the head. He's at centre half forward with Dustin Fletcher picking him up. The Bombers are 6-5-41. The Kangaroos yet to score. We've played 25 minutes into this first quarter, so we're 5 minutes into time on. Simpson, touch of the fumbles. The Bombers just close quickly and a ball up.
Must be a strong wind to the left, is there, KB?
I don't think so.
Well, the Kangaroos have just gone back now. They're reverting back to a man-on-man situation. No loose players. James Hurd pushed up, as you can see. Blake, he's just staying about 30 metres back. He probably picked this up.
And the Bombers' 6 goals come from 6 individual goal kickers. Harvey has found it hard to break away today. And again, a ball up. The ball still inside the centre square.
Just on possessions here, KB, Essendon nearly doubled the Kangaroos. Essendon 85 to the Kangaroos only 45. It's mainly through their midfield, certainly on top of the Kangaroos in that area.
So Alessio just thumps the ball down, taken by Lloyd, backtracks and conceded ground to Heffernan, who just wobbles the ball forward. The Bombers need a kind bounce, picked up by Grant. It's a hurried kick. James Hurd back edge of the centre square, stands and delivers. There's another mark coming up to the Bombers. Mercury just backing back. They could have raffled it.
You know, in all this, Matthew Lloyd's had just 2 handballs.
Might as well take him off, not needed.
I'll give him a spell, I reckon.
Take him off, not needed.
They're just playing with so much confidence, aren't they, Jared?
Could be rotated today. Mercury around the corner. Rams at home. Seven individual goal kickers for the Bombers.
Outstanding performance. And, well, Adam Ramanauskas, I'm not sure what he's done wrong. 2 weeks ago, he was best on the ground at Colonial Stadium. An outstanding display against the Crows. Might have been 3 weeks ago.
Well, alphabetically, his name starts with R, which meant it was his turn to be rotated.
He'll be getting dizzy.
Well, it's quite strange being here, isn't it, just to see this. Last year's premiers getting absolutely towed at the moment. They just can't get the ball forward. Now they've got a chance. Wellman coming off half back though. Makepeace trying to get the ball out. And the Bombers just tying it up. No, free kick. A free kick, so the Kangaroos will go inside 50 for a 3rd time.
Yeah, that was against Damien Harvey. Just a bit sloppy with his aggression on the ball.
So Rawlings, Brady Rawlings keeping it low, and it wasn't a great kick. The rain again coming down as David Kelthorpe has his problems. But this Bombers lineup at the moment, just unbelievable. Long off half back, had no one to go to sideways, so he goes forward and Archer in front takes the mark. It wasn't a great kick from Long, as you saw. Got Grant out wide. Again, though, going the long way home. Capuano on the bench, and the big man Spider Burton pushing forward, but he goes to centre half forward, thumped away Wellman. Down was Blumfield, tried to get Masiti. That wasn't a great handball. There was plenty of Kangaroos around. King, a hurried kick. Kelthorpe making a recovery. Takes the mark. Only Essendon players ahead of him, so he goes wide and doesn't quite get Simpson. Surely that was a free kick for holding on. No, said the umpire. Simpson paddled it backwards. Kept going again. Harvey, they're back to the wing though. Such is the pressure of the situation, and their Bomber opponents, Lucas, Kelthorpe, all having a crack at it. Off the ground, King finally get away. Simpson a handball. Rawlings, high kick into the pocket. All Essendon. Wallace flew and made it his, and takes the mark.
Well, I can't recall one easy kick or one easy handball to a North Melbourne player in this first quarter. Heffernan just strolls away from half-back, kicks it to space. He's looking for Barnard out in front.
Quite well, Archie,
a light shower of rain, so it was a bit difficult. Paddle back by Long. Pickett goes to ground. They want a free kick. The umpire calls play on and Long. It's a wobbly kick, and it's been marked by Mighty Mick, who goes wide to McCartney, who's a thumping kick, and just belts the ball out wide, trying to get the ball inside 50. Kelthorpe's got Hardwick to beat, and he gives away the free kick. Now it's coming back. Look at the loose player out wide in Caracella. He's likely to kick it back to him again. Wallace now runs to space, and Johnson, so they raffled it. Bingo, lucky number one. Kicks the ball down. James Hurd way out in front as the siren sounds. A scoreless quarter for the Kangaroos in front of a huge crowd here at the MCG. There's the coach, Kevin Sheedy, coming down. What a satisfying first quarter that would be.
Don't forget they're underdogs coming in, according to Sheedy.
According to this man, 7 goals, 5-47 the Bombers. Kangaroos yet to score with 7 individual goal kickers. An amazing opening term. A standing ovation at the end of quarter time. How often do you see that?
Very rarely, KB, but well, the Kangaroos have just got to get something out of this. They've got to go into the huddle and restart the match at quarter time and get that ball down there to the King. Carey, kick some goals, get back into it.
Welcome back to the MCG. That is an amazing scoreline. Yes, no error there. Kangaroos did not score. Essendon 7-5-47.
The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000. Proudly brought to you by Victoria Bitter. Mitsubishi Magna V6. One drive in your hoods. McDonald's. Enjoy the fun and the games. And Telstra. Making life easier.
Well, let's check some other scores at the SCG. It's three-quarter time. And as you can see, the Swans a big quarter in the third term. They are in front 13-7 to 10-9. Now, some stations taking a replay of the Geelong Western Bulldogs game. So look away. If you don't know the scores, we watch Dennis Pagan, because we're going to have a look at the scores in that match from Colonial Stadium. And Richard Osborne is down there with Mark Harvey. Let's get down to you, Aussie.
Well, half 7 goals, 5-0. Fantastic start by the boys.
Yeah, it was, and we're really attacking and putting inside our forward 50 a lot, and but the game's got a long way to go yet.
For sure, but the good thing is 7 goals, 7 individual goal kickers, so no doubt a team effort so far.
Yeah, that's a pleasing part of it at the moment. I guess everyone's getting involved, and there's plenty of options down there at the moment.
Thanks, Harves.
Let's have a look at the Mitsubishi match stats from that first quarter. And not surprisingly, they're all one way. Dougie and KB, the Mitsubishi match stats.
It's quite unbelievable, the Bombers, the way they control the ball. It was interesting, as I said before, James Hurd's the only Essendon player in the top 35 possession getters in the competition, so they really do share the ball around, and of course they use their interchange bench a lot, but inside 50, 23 times the 4. I think that figure tells it all, Doug.
Yeah, no doubt about that, KB, and particularly in midfield have been absolutely on top here. They've had 73 possessions, Essendon, to the Kangaroos only 35 in the midfield, so they're dominating the midfield, the Essendon side.
Well, the Bombers can only be put under pressure if you can get the ball through the goals at the other end. And if you can't get the ball down there, of course, the likes of whether it's Corey McKernan playing down there or Wayne Carey, doesn't make any difference.
So, will the second quarter bring any changes? As we look around, we see that Wayne Carey is inside 50. McKernan still in the ruck, so Carey playing forward. Pretty much look like they've started as they ended that first quarter. And the Kangaroos will go forward through Blakey, out wide onto the wing, and it wasn't a bad kick in the end. Troy Makepeace, one of the interchange players at the start of the game, came onto the ground. Obviously, just caught one, a little bit of discomfort, goes out wide, gets Peter Bell, who can pump them inside 50. At least Carey couldn't take it. Good roving though. Snap at goal. Here's through, and Harvey breaks the drought, and it only took 50 seconds for that drought to be broken. Brent Harvey kicks the goal, and finally the Kangaroos are on the scoreboard.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And here's Troy Makepeace, who got one over the jaw there to find Bell. I like it when Carey's down at centre half forward. He does make a contest, but it was great roving. A bit like KB back in your heyday, KB. Front and square, right at the front of the pack, and that's a goal certainly that the Kangaroos won. And the good thing about it, the Kangaroos this quarter is kicking to the scoring end, so that's a very important thing for them.
And we see Troy Makepeace there, just rubbing that jaw. Might have been a heavy blow. This will certainly test the resolve of the Kangaroos this second quarter. They've had a torrid week with Winston Abraham in trouble over in Perth, and football managers flying across, interrupted preparation. They've been in the news leading into this big game. Shell-shocked in that first quarter, but we know they're a great club. Clayton goes wide. He was looking for Kelthorpe. It was a look-away kick. It's been marked by Hardwick.
I don't think he wants to know the score, KB.
Kicks the ball down. He's looking for Barnard, playing in front, got the strength. Carosella to Fletcher. Wobbles the kick back towards the edge of the centre square. Some strong body work that time by Archer. Blakey, his partner in crime, across half-back. It's been a torrid opening quarter for the Kangaroos defenders, and there he is, the king. Well, Carey's got it. He's going to have a ping at him from 55 metres out. Unloads. This could bounce.
Great
He's got it.
Free kick.
Free kick.
Ball's within 5 metres,
Jared,
surely.
comment from Jared.
Well, I just thought it was within the rules of the game, but I guess we'll have another look and make our minds up after
Obviously,
replay.
the Shepherd has been deemed illegal. So Fletcher comes away with the ball. We'll have a look at the next stoppage in play. We'll have a look at that kick. Carey from outside of 50. And, of course, a controversial free kick. Johnson from half-back. Back towards centre wing. Now, the whistle is gone.
Here we go, another look at it.
I think he's saying it was in the back, was he, rather than the
Yeah, he
side?
played in the back. I mean,
Not a
it was
free
a
kick, Jared.
50-50 question, and the umpire went with the push. I would have let it go myself, but KB?
Gee, I'd like to see it again, but the umpire had to make his decision on the spot.
I think there's no question that there was a slight motion there, but it looked as if the initial push was just in the side, and the Essendon player just helped it along with a little bit of stage management.
Well, if there's a push there, it's a free kick. So the umpire can only pay the free kicks as the rule. And even if the ball was going to cover and bounce through, let's have a look at one look here.
Side push or in the back?
No, that's in the back. He's definitely got his forearm in his back and gave him a shove. So the umpire's got to pay it. If it's there, it's got to be paid.
Well, on the outer side, Mercedes getting them to half forward. Simpson, Clayton. Got half run down that kick, and Hurd just pushed off by Bell. There's another little shove in there. The umpire lets it go. Makepeace managed to get the handball away. They go forward again. This time, though, Dustin Fletcher cutting it off across half-back, and he's got Barnard pushing to the members' side. Takes the mark, looks up. Barnes is centre-half forward. He's going to go shorter than that. Very wide. And the ball over the line, out of bounds.
I wonder, Jared, when's the last time the Kangaroos have been scoreless? When did the last time been?
I wouldn't have any idea, but I know Kevin Bartlett has got a photographic memory, and if anybody would know, he would.
KB?
Round 6, 1978 from my memory against Geelong.
Geez, you're good, KB.
We do thank our producer down the line for that information. Carosella around the corner. He finds Barnard 55 metres out now. Lloyd hasn't been in the action, but there's a running fingertip mark. Matthew Lloyd, the leading goal kicker in the competition, 58 goals for the season. And Barnard here, it was a clever kick. He kicked it to space, and Lloyd, of course, running onto it with outstretched arms. Always takes his time. And Some well-known Bomber supporters there.
When the GST comes in, KB, do you get
Michael Kroger.
When the GST comes in, KB, do you get an extra 10% on a goal?
Well, we'll ask Matthew Lloyd. He's pushed it right. I'd figure he's just missed this to the right, and he has. And Andrew Peacock there also. He's a great Bomber supporter. Just a look of anguish on his face. How'd he be if they were behind? It's rare to see Matthew Lloyd actually miss because he's such a dead-eyed dick.
Just 3 possessions today for Matthew Lloyd so far. 7-6 to 1 straight as Pickett goes looking for McKernan. Oh, big leap from Dean Wallace. He takes it. Oh, he came down with, oh, now he's going to be gone. Well tackled. Quick kick by Fletcher, gets them back deep inside 50. Alessio going after it against Rawlings. Rawlings has the zip and the pace. He got a shove in the back. There's nothing different about that than the other end. There was a hip and shoulder in the back.
That's the issue I wanted to bring up with you, Kevin. I mean, it's okay, I think, to isolate one incident, so the umpires have got to pay them if they're there. They've got to umpire by the rules. Great mark by Dean Wallace, but the next decision, not all that flash. But you don't see them umpiring the letter of the law often enough.
Up to full forward. Martin in good position. Decided to punch. He might get a free anyway against Matthew Lloyd. So Martin in the last line. The Kangaroos just 1 goal. The Bombers 7-6. Goes through centre half back. And the pressure again was there on young Brady Rawlings. He took the mark and laid it off. Pickett trying to bring some run. Oh, he takes them on. And that was very adventuresome stuff. Goes long. Kelthorpe not really in the best position to mark. Made a contest of it and did very well. Now he's in trouble. Now he's in trouble. And the umpire says it's a ball up.
It's in the midfield, boys, where the Kangaroos are getting absolutely flogged. Bell's only had 7 touches. Harvey's had 5. Simpson's only had 3, and Shannon Grant on the wings only had the 4 touches. Must lift.
Long coming off the ground for Moorcroft. Barnes over the top of it. Simpson off the wrong side. And that's the result. Out of bounds on the full. At least Byron Pickett, you know, he took them on then, Dougie, didn't he? He gave them a bit of run through the middle.
Well, that's what they've got to do at the moment, Hutto. Certainly are breaking down in that midfield, and their back line really ain't giving much run either. They really are playing very tight on their Essendon forwards. They've got to run out their back line like they have in the past.
Got to take some chances.
Yep.
Got to take some risks. And Dean Wallace, after that mark, he'll be in the Essendon side for the next 5 years. Kevin Sheedy would have that on video. He'll replay that at half-time. So for a toss back in, Scotty Lucas kicked the first goal of the game, gave the Bombers a real kick-start. 48 plays, 6. Michael Long taking a breather on the interchange bench. 7-6-48. The Kangaroos scoreless in that first quarter. First time they've been scoreless in a quarter, the opening quarter, since 1978 against Geelong in round 6. So a red-letter day for the Bombers. Johnson, 75 metres out, he's going to pump this ball long. Lloyd's going to be the target. Mighty Mick caught behind. Strong eyes and strong hands from Matthew Lloyd. He's a gun player. And a shake of the head from Mighty Mick.
And fair enough too, because that was just one of the strongest marks I've seen this season. Mick Martin coming up, trying to put some pressure on. He's in the box position there, Mick. And just his extended arms just control the football. Outstanding. And that is a sign of a player that's coming into his very best form.
Well, he averages 7 marks a game, Matthew Lloyd. He's kicked 58 goals for the season. All-Australian full forward last year. Yet to get amongst the goals. 7 individual goal kickers for the Bombers. Matthew Lloyd directly in front. He holds his head in disgust. So 2 set shots from Matthew Lloyd for 2 behinds.
Just sort of jabbed that kick there, Matthew Lloyd. Didn't really follow through with the football. But the man really on fire at the moment for the Essendon side is the big ruckman, Johnny Barnes. He's been great since coming from Geelong. And think about Barnes, his vision to set his teammates up has been outstanding today so far.
Pickett goes wide. There's Johnny Barnes. Did he get a shove out? Not paid. David King across half back. It's one of the players that they really need to win a lot of the ball as well. North Melbourne struggling first quarter. Clayton on the half-forward line finds Carey. You would think too far out to score. Now runs to 55. It was a poor kick. Makepeace was trying to make ground. Alessio with numbers. They'll get the run from half-back. Heffernan, a much improved player. This time it's a poor kick, a rare mistake. Puts it out on the full.
The game's just changed a bit, hasn't it, since quarter time? Blakey just on the defensive side of the wing. Moorcroft did well to just make Blakey kick the ball even a little higher than it was going to be. Bell, quick kick. It was good roving there. If he gets a lucky bounce, and he does, it's a goal. Terrific play by Bell. So they've kicked 2-0 in this quarter.
Well, a couple of let-offs, 2 shots from Matthew Lloyd has given them a bit of respite. Let's not underestimate North Melbourne. They've been a great club, got some great players there, and they just might slowly grind their way back into this game. The second quarter, I think we said at the beginning of this term, is going to show the resolve of the Kangaroos.
I think you can get that far in front also, KB, that you can just drop off mentally. Maybe that's what's happened to the Bombers.
One of the Essendon greats in the background there, Simon Madden, ruck coach down at the Kangaroos, sitting behind Dennis Pagan.
James Hurd in for this centre bounce.
McKernan in the ruck, played in the forward line in the first quarter. Barnard's handball, didn't hit a target. Clayton, strong at the ball, inside 50. Too much carry in the ball. It's been taken by Fletcher. To James Hurd, having a run through the midfield to the half-forward line. Wonderful kick. Making ground quickly was Grant. Got a fist to the ball. At ground level, Pickett just paddled the ball along, takes control, pumps the ball out wide. It's a poor kick. Barnard overran the ball. Hurd had it, lost it. Good enough to get his kick away. Pickett across half-back. Stands and delivers. It's a wobbly old kick. Taken by Wellman. Well,
he had a couple of options in shorter, Gerard, didn't he, then, and just banged it.
Yeah, he certainly did. Just a sign of a player struggling a little bit for form and under some pressure.
Carousella got Barnes across half forward. 60 from goal, John. He's going to go for the little pass, and he gets it okay. Chris Heffernan marking within scoring range. Blumfield leading down. And
well,
Lucas.
Bombers runner is on the ground, Hutto, and you would imagine that Byron Pickett is in some trouble.
Heffernan starts it out right. It's the Bombers just missing some opportunities. I guess if you're going to be harsh, just memories of the third quarter, the end of the third quarter in the preliminary final last year, when they had a lot of opportunities to put Carlton away and they didn't.
I think they kicked 7-7, didn't they? Wasted, you're right, a lot of opportunities, and enable Carlton to just gather for that last quarter onslaught. Wellman, high flyer. Grant just shovels the ball out. Carousella, dangerous player. Looking for Lucas. Got it quite shoved out. Good body work that time by Archer. Goes to ground. Got to keep your footing. Here's a chance. Some pushing and shoving. They'll just paddle the ball along. Grant heads to the line and tunnel ball through by Byron Pickett.
The player's calling for a throw.
It'll be interesting to have a look at this. If that was anywhere else on the ground, I reckon he was gone.
Well, that is a throw. The umpire obviously just didn't quite get a good enough view of it because it was a blatant throw. And Wellman just with strength there. Such a big, powerful side, the Bombers. You have a look at all their players. They don't really have a player, do they, that doesn't have some muscle. And this is a blatant throw here by Byron Pickett. So a few things going the Kangaroos' way in this second term. Some misses by the Bombers. And, of course, a free kick not picked up in the goal square. McKernan couldn't quite get his hands onto it. Simpson kicks a high ball. And Barnard. He's got to be admired. Started at Hawthorn, came to the Bombers, had a knee injury straight away. He's just worked his way into the best side in the competition. From half back. Finds Moorcroft. Spent the entire first quarter on the interchange bench. The pocket dynamo with the piston legs. Pumps the ball up towards centre half forward. Grant playing in front, unable to take control. Bell have to win a lot of the ball across half back. This kick's a poor one, so it's a chance for the Bombers. Pounced on by Jason Johnson. Just weighing up his options. There were so many there available inside 50. He's gone for James Hurd, who was caught in two minds. Lloyd's the target. Mighty Mick Pickett gets back as well. Ground level, Mercury, the crummer. He's been caught, tries to get a short kick away across to Moorcroft, but he's been pinged.
And the Kangaroos' defence has been outstanding the last 10 minutes. They've got away with a couple of opportunities against them, as you said, Kevin, but they are just starting to come back into their own and getting some run back through the middle of the ground.
Yeah, just the look of determination too about the way they've played, is certainly in contrast to the opening quarter. But here go the Bombers again. Mercedes found it hard to get anything decisive there. Lucas, who hasn't had a lot of it. Capuano getting back across half-back. Gets Carey on the wing. He looks up, plenty of Bombers have pushed back. So no immediate options for Wayne Carey. Still nothing really going for them. So he goes wide, and that's probably not a bad option. Clayton switching it to centre half forward. Wellman over the top to spoil Lang. Carey's got about 3 to beat there and didn't really get in the contest as Mercedes took it away. Moorcroft through the middle. Blumfield, he just hooked the kick at the last minute, setting it up for the leading Mercury. And he takes the mark.
I think, Jared, where they've been falling down, the Kangaroos, is marks inside 50. The Kangaroos, when I say fallen down, they're yet to take a mark. Here we are once again with Blumfield. The Kangaroos have not yet to take a mark inside 50. Essendon on 13 occasions inside 50.
Well,
no one to mark a footy down in their forward line.
Behind the result takes Essendon to 7-8-50, and the Kangaroos 2 straight 7-9-51. The Kangaroos 2 straight 12.
Kevin, how'd you read that piece of play there from Wayne Carey? Kicked that ball to Clayton, and Clayton kicked it long, and Carey really just didn't push up to be the crummer.
No, I think he actually went past for the ball himself. I thought he was going to receive it back from Clayton, so it might have caught him unaware. Glenn Archer between the back pocket and half-back flank. I think the Bombers will let the Kangaroos off the hook here with some shooting at goal. It just might have known. Another goal to the Kangaroos will really lift the confidence. Big pack of players. Archer showed a lot of courage. Kept his eyes on the ball. Lucas, long raking handball to Blumfield, who's a goal kicker. And hammers it home.
Might be a decisive goal, that one, in that just at the end of that, the body language of some of the Kangaroos after that goal was one of, well, what do we do to stop these guys? We've given it our best for the last 5 minutes, and yet we haven't been able to really do much on the scoreboard. But a pretty fair shot for goal, that one, showing a few of the forwards how to do it.
So Essendon's first goal of the second quarter. Kicked 1 goal for the Kangaroos, 2 straight. Barnes again gets it down Mercedes. Yes, he takes it with him. Then he just lost his footing. Danny Jacobs on the ground. Hurry, kick, Pickett does well.
Great work.
And Lloyd coming in, but a little late. Grant spots up Pike, who's got Mickey Martin running. Oh dear, it was, I think, just touched off the boot. Mercury into Moorcroft. In the goal square is Lloyd. Moorcroft doesn't mind a shot at goal, and he just probably thought by then the percentages of getting it to Lloyd had dropped a little bit.
Never seen the Kangaroos make so many mistakes here. No doubt it's the pressure of the Essendon Football Club. Rarely you see the Kangaroos get the ball and just kick it blindly. Probably half a dozen times they've done it so far in this game.
So Moorcroft for Essendon's second, of this quarter. He misses as well, so that's 1-5 for
I think,
2.
Dougie, I think the problem there is they're just absolutely shell-shocked. You look at the scoreboard, 58-12. They're just really panicking at this stage.
You're right, Oz.
Pickett this time goes out in front of the Great Southern Stand. Dangerous play. Mercury is all class and finds Lucas. It was a thumping kick, so the distance won't worry Scotty Lucas. He's come back magnificently from that broken leg. He's kicked 32 goals for the season. He's lining up from just inside 50. He'll kick the ball. Plenty of goal space open. And Lucas. The distance is there again, inaccurate. So another minor score to the Bombers. So they are wasting opportunities. 1 goal, 6 in this second quarter. You see Kevin Sheedy maybe a little bit agitated with so many opportunities going begging.
I've been pretty critical of the Kangaroos midfielders, but the man that really has to get himself into the game is the 150 game player, Corey McKernan. He's only had the 4 touches and only taken 2 marks. He needs to really get right into this game.
Well, 2 against 1. Archer's got to be good. He's got to beat Hurd, and also Carousella kept the ball alive. It was close to the line. Moorcroft, a look away handball back to Blumfield. A dangerous kick. This could bounce through. Great defensive play by Martin Pike.
So the Byron Pickett again will bring it back into play. He's had plenty of practice in the last few minutes. This time goes to himself. Yeah, he spots someone deep in the back pocket. That's Brent Harvey. But plenty of Bombers zoning up that side of the ground. So Harvey's going to find it hard to find a target any distance away. Grant came in close. McKernan's up there on the wing. Players up the ground are saying switch it, but he doesn't. He decides to kick to the pack instead, and wasn't a badly placed kick in the end, and McKernan comes in and takes one of those marks that you were talking about, Dougie.
Yeah, he's got to lift his work rate harder. And really the staggering thing is that Essendon had 20 scoring shots to the Kangaroos only 2. It's amazing.
Now McKernan just behind the wing. She goes to forward a lot of players around the ball. Capuano couldn't bring it down. Mercedes' little give was great. On the end of it all, Hardwick, Hurd and McCurry talked amongst themselves. Hurd takes the mark. To half forward, Lucas versus Archer, who has probably been their best player, Jared.
He's had a fantastic game since he went into the defensive area. Been a bit of pressure on him in the press this weekend about where he is in his career, and I think he's playing with the ferocity we've come to expect from him. Mark
Johnson's kick was very nearly out on the full. So the ball out of bounds. Essendon leading by 48 points. They've kicked 1 goal 7 in this quarter. And the Kangaroos 2 straight. Capuano and Barnes. Smashed away Simpson. Hurd just setting it up. Numbers with the Roos. Oh, Lloyd didn't take it, but it did open up just for a second. McCartney's handball very wide towards the boundary line. Blakey, was he manhandled by Johnson? No, the ball out of bounds.
Well, they've really struggled, the Kangaroos, to be clean with their disposals, haven't they, really? Even on that occasion there, McCartney's handball didn't really hit Johnny Blakey, put him under pressure. Finally, it's forced over the line, so a chance for the Bombers. Just 35 metres around from goal. Front of the pack, Pike has the kick smothered off the boot. Moorcroft, Archer, desperate on hands and knees. Harvey, so a transfer of play to Blakey. Changes direction, hooks the ball back. Danger here for the Kangaroos. Thumped back. Pounced on by Smoke and Joe Mercedes. Kicks the ball inside 50. Barnes looks dangerous. Good defensive punch away by Troy Makepeace. Chance for Barnard with strength. Weaved his way out of trouble. Sets it up as Blumfield. It came from Johnny Barnes. Tried a little dinky kick into the pocket. It was a poor option. Pike under pressure. Back to McCartney. Just thumps the ball back towards the half-back line. And Makepeace, who's ran hard from half-back, kicks the ball back towards centre wing. Carey's going to be the target. Forced Fletch under the ball. It was good play. They need a team-lifting goal. Carey, 65 metres out. It could bounce through. Wrong side. They needed that one. And young Spall on the boundary line. Start of the game, virtually at full forward. Young man from Rosebud, just about to come on, playing his first game for the Kangaroos.
Got a good pair of hands, KB, the male is, so I think he'll probably go forward and may play at full forward for the Kangaroos.
James Hurd in front. They need a crummer. Goes to the ground, did it magnificently. Ramanaskas back to Hurd, who's picking up quite a few possessions now. 7 marks and 13 possessions to James Hurd. As the ball beats McCartney over the line for a toss back in.
(8-12) to 2-1. We've got just under 4 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Barnes flicking it out the back. Blakey. Wellman in front. And Barnard again. Going back. Dean Wallace, just the initial fumble. Did he get one high? No. He certainly was over the ball. Bombers getting plenty to the contest. And Makepeace in there, just making sure that they didn't get away with it again. So we've got a bounce.
Lang's off the ground. Spall on, as you said, Doug. At the other end of the ground, looks like Mark McCurry's just taken up that post at full forward. He's matched up against Shannon Grant. If they can get the ball in the air, I'm not sure Shannon Grant will be able to go with him.
Simpson, as he often does, popping up as the second ruckman, got it out, but Wellman's kick. This is Hurd now. He's had plenty of it in this second quarter. Plenty of it for the match, really. Umpire pays the mark to McCartney. Got a couple of options out wide, and that's where he goes. Shane Clayton looks up, got McKernan very deep. No, he goes short, very short. Blakey with some run, could land it in the square. McKernan and Bell are back there. It's a well-placed kick, and Bell takes a good, strong mark, with Dean Wallace just giving him a little bit of attention to go on with. And then he decides to sit on him, just for good measure.
What's the first bit of signs you've seen the Kangaroos backline give a little bit of run, and Blakey's been that man to do that. There's Wallace.
Yeah, I think Dean Wallace may have almost KO'd himself by smashing into the post with his head. We'll have another look at it. It's a nice kick here from John Blakey, a big bomb, and good shepherding there from Corey McKernan. It didn't take him out. No contact.
Well, importantly, it's the third goal for the Kangaroos, and so they have just edged back slightly. They would like to have done a lot more on the board, but certainly they've been a lot more even in general play. We'll have another look at that incident.
Well, and the other interesting aspect is that James Hurd, after that dinky kick into the middle that has been intercepted to create this goal, has been taken from the ground.
He copped a boot.
Copped a boot to the head on that occasion.
And there's the skipper, James Hurd, 15 possessions, 7 marks, and has booted a goal as well, sitting on the interchange bench.
KB, would it be for that poor disposal through the middle? Because I watched James Hurd afterwards, and he had a look at the wicket area where the turf has been replaced. I think he may have just got his foot caught in it.
Well, he certainly looked down at his foot, and he was certainly disgusted with the kick. Just feel he may have lost his footing, and therefore he scrubbed the kick. But a break's not unusual for Sheedy to give to James Hurd. Kangaroos keep on coming. A goal inside the last 2 minutes be very handy. Wallace comes away with the ball. So he's recovered. Kicks the ball short. Finds Ramanauskas. A young player has taken the next step. He's a beautiful kick. He's looking for Mercury. One hand at Mercury. Needs support. Kicks it in mid-air. Lucas. Well, that was great play by Mercury. He had the ball in one hand. He was being slung and was good enough to get the ball onto his boot. And Lucas has taken a very good mark as well.
I think he hit on the head before, Joe, with that matchup with Shannon Grant. Here, once again, we see the matchup. No doubt Mercury's a very good mark for his size, but I think he will have the measure on there. But it's a great play there, and be fair to say, a lucky pass.
Well, it was good enough to keep the ball alive in play on their forward line. And from that comes this chance that Scotty Lucas should kick a goal directly in front. Scotty Lucas hammers it home.
Well, just when we thought, Kevin, that the Kangaroos were starting to mount a challenge, bang come the Bombers. And Mark Mercury, brilliance. The Mark Mercury stamp on football is just that the brilliance, the things that most footy players can't do that he can do. And you see there, KB, he's definitely kicked the turf. We'll have another look at that at some stage.
James Hurd back on the ground, just a little bandage around the knee there, Jared, so he might have just strained it a little as he did that kick where his foot got stuck.
Well, it's a very interesting one. We'll have to find out a bit more about that one, perhaps at half-time with Aussie, but he definitely has kicked the grass when he kicked it.
Well, Lucas gets another chance, and this time he misses.
Well, the disheartening thing now, boys, for the Kangaroos, for all the hard work they've tried to do this quarter, they've actually been outscored by the Bombers, so it's just getting harder and harder.
Yes, Essendon have kicked 2 goals and 8 behinds, and the Kangaroos 3 goals and 1 behind. So that's scored by a point. Last 55 seconds of the second quarter, as that kick in didn't quite find its target, and Lucas keeping it alive. Hurd got it out long. Standing start, just went for the pass. Ramanauskas, space around him, takes the mark. And this will really sting the Kangaroos going into the long break. It'll be a long, long break.
There was 3. Let's have a look. We see him kick the ground here. Yeah, whether his left foot just sort of gave way a little bit and therefore put him off balance and therefore he kicked the ground. But he has come back on with his a bandage around his knee.
So the clock counting down, just 15 seconds remaining as another one goes on the board. Adam Ramanauskas joins the list of goal kickers for Essendon. 10-13-73 to 3-1-19. Just 9 seconds to go.
Don't get like this kid. Doesn't take long to make a mark on the game. He's only been on 10 minutes or so. He's had 4 possessions and kicked a goal.
Yeah, class act in Jared, and you did touch on it. I think it was about 3 weeks ago against Adelaide. We was best on the field by an absolute mile, and you had the ability, Kevin Sheedy, to have a player like him sit on the bench, and he's a class act. But I haven't seen so many Kangaroo players turn the footy over, and there's James Hurd once again with that bandage on his knee. But the Kangaroos class acts have turned the footy over, Jared.
Well, it's almost half-time, KB. For the Kangaroos to win this match, or to have won this match, they needed their star players to really play well. I'll go through a few of them, and you may just give us a rating on how they're going. King?
No, struggling.
Not much. Carey?
He's tried hard.
McKernan?
Not much today in his 150th.
Brent Harvey's been one of their stars this year.
He has struggled.
Glenn Archer?
He's been very good in defence.
Adam Simpson's been a star for them this year.
Not much of the ball at all.
Shannon Grant, Norm Smith medalist.
Shannon Grant has struggled across half-back. And we see a few words here being spoken. Adam Romanaskas might be a young player, but he can stand up for himself. And Dennis Pagan comes down. Very disappointing first half for the Kangaroos, 10-13-73. So that's a 54-point lead to the Bombers after leading by 47 points at quarter time, 3-1. And James Hurd just having a bit of a chat to the players. Maybe he's saying, Jared, wasted opportunities in that quarter, we should have buried them.
Yeah, I think that'll be a fair message. But I guess the positive for the Kangaroos is that we've outlined, Kevin, a number of their star players that can play a lot better football, make this a more competitive second half.
Well, that second quarter, 3 goals, 8 Essendon. The Kangaroos kicked 3-1. We'll see what happens after half-time. We'll take a break from the MCG. Thanks, Aussie. Well, where to from here, do you think, for the Kangaroos, Jared, the start of this quarter?
Well, they've just got to start again, Hutto. There's no point even looking at the scoreboard. Just play it quarter by quarter, try and outmatch them. It'll take an extraordinary turnaround for them to win. Stranger things have happened, but I think they'd be just playing it 5 minutes at a time.
Well, we're underway, and straight away, Sean Wellman can send the Bombers into attack. Carey and McKernan both starting in attack in this quarter. That was a fairly wide kick. Blumfield couldn't take it. Streaming through Johnson. He took it with him. Byron Pickett went without it. Blumfield feeding off Mercedes. High kick to full forward. From behind, Solomon got to the front.
I think the biggest worry, though, Hutto, is if the Bombers actually do get a couple of goals early and they look as if they're going to get one, this could blow out to be, you know, something in the vicinity of an 80 or 100-point flogging, which is incredible when you consider it's the favourites for the premiership up against the premiers of last year.
Dean Solomon. And that one looks pretty good, so they have started as they started the match. With a goal, they fired out of the blocks in the first quarter, and they've done the same in the second half.
Well, they've had 10 goal kickers out of their 11 goals of the Essendon side. And once again, Johnny Barnes getting the hand to the footy out of the centre here. We see Mercedes has been a terrific player in the first half. He's had 21 touches and been brilliant by winning the ball out of the centre. And they've got the ability now to have Solomon, who goes on a half-back flank and goes forward and kicks a goal.
Well, they've got Wayne Carey in the forward line. They've got Motlop there, Corey McKernan, Troy Makepeace, Martin Pike's down there as well, and Calthorpe. So they've got some high flyers, they've got some size and strength, they've got some medium-sized players and some crummers. Can they actually get the ball inside 50? That's the big question. Great start by the Bombers. Big Spider, nearly a fresh air shot. Mercedes, likewise. Calthorpe tried to just barge his way through, taken away by Heffernan. Some fancy footwork. And the kick's a poor one. I suppose one of the problems for the Bombers, and I've been a bit critical of them in the past, is that sometimes when they can really grind a side into the ground, they just tend to lair-rise a little bit, just over finesse, get a bit cute. So we'll just see whether or not they can actually continue on this great form. Look at that for a bear hug tackle. Strong tackle by Alessio onto Shannon Grant. And wide-eyed just looking up. So the Bombers by 60 points. And here's the tackle. And have a look at that. 3 Essendon players there in that tackle. And, of course, Archer there as well. You know when a side's playing well when you see a camera shot, you'll generally find the side that's winning, or the dominating side, they'll have more players in that camera shot than the opposition. Lucas tried to slap the ball back. Archer has battled hard, kicks a high ball back. No penetration. Johnny Barnes couldn't quite get there. Did well to kick the ball in mid-air. Bell, 2 goals in that second term, tried to lift the Kangaroos. Archer paddles the ball along in front. So they'll backtrack and retreat and concede ground. Coming away is Pickett. And again, nowhere to go. And James Hurd has been magnificent in the first half. 16 possessions and 8 marks. It's a centering kick. It was a dangerous kick, but they win out because Johnson too strong. The handball was a poor one. Masiti caught that time by Harvey. Loose ball. Kangaroos across half back. Bang! Down goes Big Spider from Alessio, and Barnard kicks a high ball. He's off target and through for a minor score.
I think, KB, you just touched on before where the Kangaroos have fallen down. No doubt it's inside 50. They've gone inside 50 on 14 occasions in the first half to take only 1 mark inside 50, and that was Peter Bell. Not a big man.
And that was when the ball came over the back in the goal square.
Clayton gets them going onto the wing, and there's a good mark by Burton. Laying it off, Shannon Grant to centre half forward. Out in front of Kelthorpe, Hardwick right there with him, and wins the day, slapping it away into the open spaces to another contest. Off the ground went Simpson, wasn't bad in the end. Carey paddling it back, Harvey outside 50. It's a vacant square if it gets there. It doesn't. So behind for the Kangaroos. Their first score of their second half. They're now 3-2-20 to 11-14-80.
I think, KB, the scary thing is about this is Kevin Shooty said during the week this side ain't playing to their best of their potential at the moment. I reckon they're probably in third gear, Essendon today.
That's frightening.
It is frightening, isn't it?
From the half-back flank. Hardwick. Now he's going to kick the ball to Barnard, who's on the back edge of the centre square. He goes to ground. He'll get support. Johnson. Just a roll of the shoulders with strength. Back to Barnard. 2 strong competitors. This kick dropped short, taken by Pickett. Wants to try and generate some drive. Carey, not quite certain whether he's 100% fit. Too much carry on the ball that time for Motlop. Fletcher, quick for a big man. Closed quickly. Does well. Just got his finger to the ball, slapped it out, and Solomon put it straight over the line. He'll be pinged.
Shannon Grant tried to get away with it, but he won't.
He has actually got away with it.
He has.
He's been caught. Well, so it wasn't really an advantage. Wallace.
The umpire changed his mind then, KB. He initially said you have to come back.
Well, he stepped over the line, and the umpire, Scott McLaren, allowed it to happen. And we've got a boundary throw-in just 20 metres around from the Kangaroos' goal. So maybe a chance. Carey doing the ruck work as well. Wallace was there. Fletcher wins the ball. Defender's kick. Tries to kick the ball wide. Outside of 50. Big Spider paddles the ball along in front. Those daddy long legs pumping. So he runs the ball over the line.
It's a big new boy.
Let's have a look at this.
Down a bounce again.
Yeah, it's definitely a free kick.
Should have been a free to Motlop in the first place. And then Shannon Grant escaped with it. The umpire initially not letting him go, and then all of a sudden he said, yes, you can. 11-14 to 3-2. Bombers trying to get it back into attack. Archer again involved, and Pickett, who's had a fair bit of the footy this afternoon, 12-2. One of the most prolific kick getters. McCartney to centre half forward, but Solomon just so strong. Easing back in, taking the mark. Going wide in search for Johnny Barnes. Clayton just niggling him there. Barnes deciding to paddle when perhaps he didn't have as much as he thought in support. Simpson's kick gets Shannon Grant in some space. Centre half forward. McKernan led up the ground, but he went shorter than that. Went to Burton. Bell. Now the short sleeves after long sleeves in the first half. Getting back Mark Johnson. Got players away to his right-hand side, and they lined up out there. Heffernan, one of them. Just a little fumble as he put the ball to turf the first time. Now to half forward. Carosella, was he held? He was, by the arm. And probably wasn't a bad free kick to give away in a way.
As we talk about the great forward line of the Bombers, but the defence is so strong, isn't it? Hardwick back there, Solomon and Fletcher and Wallace. I mean, they are terrific defenders. And Wellman, of course, all-Australian centre-half back.
Well, Carosella is about 55 out. He didn't really get much onto that. And Lloyd couldn't get good, clean possession at the footy. So it's now 61 points. 11-15 to 3-2.
I'll tell you what, Hutto, the future for the Bombers looks very promising at the moment, probably for the next 10 or 15 years. But in the Little League, the Bombers kicked 8 goals, 5 to the Kangaroos' 0. They're on fire.
Well, that was nearly a mirror image of the first quarter of this game. 7-5 to 0.
Watch the video of the seniors.
They were good, the little lead.
Pickett finds Archer.
Just any good players there, Dougie?
Oh, there was probably half a dozen. Brilliant players they were. A couple of girls, matter of fact, were very good for them.
Grant at halfback. It's been stop-start play by the Kangaroos, kicking into big pack of players, been unable to really generate some run. Lang tries a fingertip mark, bundled over the line by Solomon. The Bombers by 61 points, 11-15 to 3-2. 10 individual goal kickers for the Bombers, and for the Kangaroos, 2 goals to Peter Bell and 1 to Brent Harvey. So just their small men getting amongst the goals. Nothing from the tall timber. Hurd to Wellman. They'll set the ball up. Lucas. There's a big fly. 3 down at ground level. Lloyd, unselfish play to Blumfield. Kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Caracella. So many options up forward. Now Barnard was on the lead. Shake of the head.
He ran a long way for that, KB.
Well, he kicked a goal in the first quarter, Blake Caracella. He's played a lot off the interchange bench as well this year. He's kicked 15 goals for the season. Usually, he's a very good kick. Directly in front. You can see there from our camera work. He's pushed this way right. It's a big pack of players, and the Bombers have got it. Matthew Lloyd. Well, he's had his hands full because Mighty Mick just doesn't like full forwards kicking goals on him, and he hasn't kicked a goal yet. He's had a couple of behinds. This is a very tough angle, although he can run around. He's on his preferred side. So it's a check side kick. And he's missed.
Well, Mick Martin would have set himself for this match, given the toweling that he copped in the grand final of the night series.
Plus got reported.
And got reported. Started him off on a pretty ordinary way. And just have a look at Mick. He cannot believe it.
I just reckon, boys, where the Kangaroos have struggled, particularly in their midfield here. Anthony Stevens, last year's best and fairest winner, the other sides we're well aware of. He's a very important player in their midfield, and they do miss him a hell of a lot.
Spider Burton coming from the ground. I think the question about Anthony Stevens is how much of an impact can you have as a player, given that you start your season in round 14, 15, 16?
He's going to struggle. You're probably right there, Jared, coming back. And don't forget Lee Colbert out of their side as well.
Same issue, though. I mean,
yeah.
Without
they're great players, but they've got no preparation to really bolster the Kangaroos. I mean, they could come off a bench. You know, it might be an impact player, something like that. But you wouldn't think the games they've missed that they're going to be major contributors.
Can't imagine them having a huge impact on the outcome of the season.
No.
Simpson using Dell off half back. Alessio had a good run at that. Helped the Bombers just repel Wellman. Hurd. Reverse kick. It didn't really go the way he wanted it to go. Oh, McCartney. Did he? He's paid the mark. Now, surely that hit his foot. Surely that therefore ends the mark.
No, he just trapped it between his legs for him.
Well, it was a great mark. They're away. Bell through centre half back. Grant. Bell following on. His kick was very low. And run down by Heffernan, who decides to take him on. He went very close to going out of bounds. Long, just trying to think and work out what might be the best way to get it through. Didn't work out for him. Hurd from the side. Blakey. Oh, Hurd. He wanted a footy then, didn't he? And won it. Caracella in short. Lucas fell over. Archer went straight over the top. Lucas getting back to his feet and drilling the goal. Well, it was only a matter of time, it looked like, really.
Well, he's got 3 goals, but take a bow, James Hurd, because this is what desperate play is all about, leading from the front, sliding over the ball over here. Now he contests here. This is magnificent. Now watch this. He gets the support from Caracella. 2 against 1, but that was great play by James Hurd.
It was the real power play by the Bombers. And Scotty Lucas, he got inside 50, had a big sniff and banged it home. Margin is going to be a big one.
James Hurd on screen. He's been magnificent today. 21 possessions, 8 marks. He's kicked a goal, and you can see he's leading from the front. 12-16 the Bombers, 3-2 the Kangaroos. They trail by 68 points. Harvey out of the centre square. Solomon nearly impassable across half back. To Fletcher, just playing a cameo role today. Pumps the ball wide. Alessio just needs a kind bounce. Pickett will close quickly. He's a great tackler. But again, no support. Look at the Essendon players. 2 Essendon players made ground to get out there. Alessio goes to ground. He was met front on that time by Bell. Harvey just shoveled the ball back out to Spider. On and off the ground. Goes short. and finds Big Corey. Game number 150. Can he unload? Kicks a big bomb. Carey in the front position. He's got it. And I think that might be their only chance today. Isolate Carey in the square, kick big bombs in there, and hope that you get enough players running hard to the front of the pack if a crumb comes. Now he pushes out of the way here with strength.
Nothing wrong with that. Just body on body.
So Carey to kick his first goal directly in front. Rams at home.
Well, the old body language of the supporters, I thought, said it all there, Hutto. A couple of Kangaroos not all that pleased with the Essendon faithful querying that decision, but I think once two players engaged in a wrestle and in battle along these lines, well, then if the stronger one wins, well, I can't see that there's a problem if you have a look at that.
That's fine, Jared, isn't it? That's nothing wrong with that.
There was a bit going on verbally there too, wasn't there? Wayne Carey kicking the goal and certainly letting Dustin Fletcher know all about it. In the middle of the ground they go again. Burton and Alessio. Spider paddling it back. That was pretty good play. And they're into attack again, although Lang couldn't take it. Rawlings, who's just on the ground. This is Johnson getting a little dribbly kick away. Pike, Calthorpe, good running Pike. Something positive for the Kangaroos. I'm not sure if he was certain whether he was going to have a shot or kick to Carey then. I'm still not sure what he actually tried to do, KB.
I think he had a shot.
4-3 to 12-16.
Well, at their lowest depth so far this season, the Kangaroos in round 8 lost to the Hawks, who kicked 128 points. And the Kangaroos only managed 67. So they're going to have to get a bit of a wriggle on in the remainder of this match if they're to eclipse that figure.
Fletcher goes wide.
Oh, he's gone.
And Heffernan, and he's been pinged.
Yeah, good tackle there by Lang. It looked like that when he was tackled there on that occasion, Heffernan, he put the ball to the ground. I think that's where the umpire made that decision. Here he is once again.
There, just changed direction, but and then put the ball down, which is
good decision by the umpire.
Straight away is holding the ball because he didn't get rid of it by hand or by foot. And Lang, of course, the young man from Sturt. He's kicked 10 goals for the season. In fact, he's been very accurate. 10 goals for. Found himself in the reserves a couple of weeks ago. Looks to be a very promising player. We saw him in one of the night games against Geelong. He was a thumping kick.
This will be his first kick, KB.
It'll be good for his confidence from just inside 50. Looks a great kick off the boot. He's got it.
Well, that's a fine kick from Adam Lang, and he's still developing very much as a player. And when you get your opportunities to shoot at goal, you've got to put them away. But it was interesting just the way he does his bootlaces up here, Kev. I know it's only a little thing, but look how wide these bows are. Just lets that one flick along there. Little things in footy. Barras was always big on them.
Adam Lang, that ball going beautifully off the boot and through for a goal. The Kangaroos 5-3-33. The Essendon 12-16-88. Halfway through the third quarter. So they're on a roll. They've kicked 2 in a row, the Kangaroos. Simpson trying to get them out of the middle again. Hardwick off half back.
They get so many of their forward thrusts by losing the centre bounce, and then the half backs just come charging through like their receivers and propel them into the forward area. It's no wonder that Calthorpe has been nominated by his coach Dennis Pagan to sit on Hardwick.
Long, going long. Alessio couldn't take it. King trying to find some room. He was initially coming members side, then he went back southern side. Now he's members side again. Bell and Lang at full stretch, taking the mark. He's got Clayton on his own on the wing if he can move it quickly. Had to be a good kick, and he was halfway in between.
Maybe the bootlaces, Hutto.
Maybe it was Wallace going inboard. Hurd to centre half forward. It was a probing kick. Long couldn't take it. Caracella let the traffic go by, and Lucas kick was run down. Again, Archer involved, and went a second and third effort. The big man gets it back to him. Archer off the left boot. Oh, what's out there? Nothing. He went for the boundary umpire, and it might nearly get there. Good running from Calthorpe. Came from a long way back. But Alessio kept it in. Calthorpe. That's very well done. And Harvey, did he go out? He did, I think. The whistle had already gone.
Free kick.
Free kick.
Centre clearances, Hutto. Essendon 7, Kangaroos 11.
Gee, that is amazing, isn't it? 12-16 to 5-3 on the scoreboard. McKernan arranging effort there, but didn't pull the mark in. Johnson went back to Hurd. Loose ball, Long. Oh, that was dynamic, and it just set up Wellman. Long again, quick with the hands. Johnson, Wellman, back to Long. Deserves to finish it off himself, but he couldn't. Was he pushed in the back?
Caught.
No, holding the ball. And advantage paid.
That's where the Bombers have been very good. They've just stopped the Kangaroos from playing on. Simpson just had nowhere to go. Fletcher just backed his judgment, attacked the ball, has taken the mark. That's why he's been the best fullback in the competition this year. Really plays the ball on its merits. Johnny Barnes, across half-back, just enjoying a wonderful season. 5 marks, 11 possessions. And of course, being so athletic, he's like a giant ruck rover, Jared.
Yeah,
he can just stay off the pace a bit, can't he? Which makes it awkward for the opposition. What do you do with him?
I think most people are surprised when they see him just running at a football with a short, smaller, talented, pacey player. He just matches them pace for pace.
Caracella pulls down a big grab, and here's a chance. And Lloyd, who was in that contest, then ran back inside 50. I mean, he's hungry for the ball. Yet to kick a goal. So watch Mighty Mick on the mark, as he'll be waving the arms. Now we see here some pushing and shoving, and again,
Strong mark.
it was a strong mark because he was out here on the wing contesting.
Yep.
Then had to run back. I'm just keen to watch Mighty Mick here on the mark to see if he can put him off, because he'll be hoping that this man won't kick any goals on him today. Just a few words too. Matthew Lloyd from right on 50 unloads. It's going to push it right. Alessio's mark may be over the line. Has it been paid? Surely it's a behind.
Yeah.
Well, he's had a bad afternoon in front of goal, Matthew Lloyd. That one even that one wasn't all that accurate. May well head to the driving range during the week.
I think 4 points, Jared, so far in this game. What about the form of Hurd? I mean, Kerry's been the best player in the comp for probably the last 6 to 8 years. And before Hurd got injured, he was a player I thought was on the verge of challenge for that title as the best player. He's back in great form.
Well, King kicks the ball wide.
And now they're away. Blakey off the left to half forward. Carey's going to have to double back to get onto this one. That's what he does. Tries to fight 3 of them, and he got clear too. Lang using Clayton. How's the finish from Clayton? Oh, he ran very close. He ran too close to Fletcher. They still might get away with a goal. Rawlings it is that runs through and makes sure of it. So the margin back to 50 points.
This was an interesting give by Wayne Carey that set this one up. We'll see him get the footy and then charge through. Let's just see how he gets rid of this football here. Looked awfully like a throw to me, that one, Kev.
Well,
or a shove.
Well, he certainly didn't make contact with his fist. Might have got jolted out of his arms.
Might have.
And there's Johnny Barnes sitting on the interchange bench along with Danny Jacobs. 12-17-89, a 50-point lead to the Bombers. 6-3-39 the Kangaroos. We've played just on 22 minutes in this third term, and we've got 5.5 minutes left. David Calthorpe is off, former Bomber who went to Brisbane and now back with the Kangaroos. Winner of the E.J. Whitten medal. Just trying to make his mark with his third league club, and Shannon Motlop comes on and goes straight to the half-forward line.
They've actually outscored them in this quarter, KB. 3 goals 2 to 2 goals 4.
And maybe the breeze even favouring the Bombers in this third term. And there we see James Hurd on screen and Alessio. Jason Johnson, very, very powerful midfield.
Let's see with Alessio in the ruck whether or not he can get first hand on the ball and allow the Bombers to get it out of the centre.
Well, Big Spider, too big, too tall. To Grant, just pumps the ball back, and Solomon so good across half back. They've got some desperados, and here's James Hurd. He is killing the Kangaroos. He's playing all over the field. Barnard generally strong overhead and strong, but pulls his opponent off the ball. And Barnard's not happy.
50, 50.
Plus 50.
Good decision.
So whether he swore at the umpire?
Yeah, he must have.
Because he's been given 50. Let's have a look at this. Two players really fighting for the ball. I'm not quite certain just how much of the free kick was against Barnard.
You think Barnard may get a bit of a spell, boys, on the bench after that one?
Or Rawlings. And we see those sorts of free kicks in the ruck contest now. Here's Dean Wallace and Corey McKernan having an altercation in the square. Jade Rawlings has just kicked a goal, and that's a shocking kick. That just about might sum up. And Dean Wallace has just had a ping at Corey McKernan. Down he goes! The Kings come in. Now Fletcher's involved as well. So a scuffle on in the goal square. Play goes on, picked up by Martin Pike. He's on 50. They'll have to break it up because there's a contest coming. And there's a mark to McKernan. Now Dean Wallace has jumped on. Carey's there as well. It's like World Championship Wrestling.
It is.
Lang comes in. Some big smiles from Dean Wallace. Alessio. McCartney's come down from centre half back. Peter Bell is showing his throat to the umpire. So down goes Carey again. Where did that come from?
The Kangaroos got to be careful.
And Hardwick.
Kangaroos have got to
Don't
be careful.
argue. Wallace is upset. Bang goes McKernan. Kicks a goal. They don't even know about it.
Could erupt this one.
This could erupt.
A lot of push and shove and a bit of scratchy.
Now what the umpire's got to do is get the ball back to the centre square and bounce it, because it's a goal.
Now anything that happens here could be another kick for the Kangaroos if Essendon aren't careful. It's breaking up.
Well, I'm certain they'll be viewing that one on video.
It's been reported. Someone has. I think Wallace maybe.
They'll view that on video. I think there was a few indiscretions.
Only two players, KB, out of the action was Lloyd and Martin down inside 50. Only two players.
So there's Wayne Carey. McKernan's kicked a goal. They've got 7-3-45 on the board. The Bombers are 12-17-89. 12-17-89. Now, will that fire up the Kangaroos?
Well, it's a pretty important one. I reckon Lee Matthews will be sitting in the stand. He's smiling. He's happy. Somebody's going to get suspended. He's saying, let's hope it's Wayne Carey. Let's hope it's Corey McKernan.
It's a free kick in the middle to Essendon. How do you work that out? How on earth do you work that out? That maybe means that it was the Kangaroos player, Carey, who was reported.
No.
Well, his number was taken, whether it was as a witness
Could have been, yeah.
or as an aggressor, I'm not sure. Rawlings from the wing, inside 50. That's an important mark to Alessio. Kangaroos mark and goal then, and that might have really pumped them up. 26 minutes have gone in the quarter. There's 4 minutes remaining. Good spoil, Blakey. Some spring in the step for the Kangaroos. Clayton got shoved, got a free kick. Umpire's going to pay advantage. It'll come back now. And all of a sudden the crowd are on their feet and they're enjoying it.
Well, we needed something to fire it up, Hutto.
Yeah, this is earlier, a few moments ago. This is where it all started. Solomon and Archer at each other's throat. You've got Hardwick there as well. So they'll view that video. Spider Burton goes wide. It sets it up. Carey's got it.
Gee, you see that holding of the... After he took the mark, he really just showed it to Dustin Fletcher.
If he kicks this goal, we could have a mighty last quarter here at the G.
And this is an attempt, KB, to become the 20th on the all-time list of goal kickers. It's an attempt at his 600th goal.
Can he kick it?
He'll be wedged to, he still is wedged at the moment, between Templeton on 5.93 and Roach on 6.07.
89 plays 45. The Kangaroos, can that scuffle fire them up? Carey, an important kick from right on 50. The Roar will tell the story.
Poster.
And the Bomber supporters are ecstatic.
It's got pretty dark here, boys, too. Maybe the lights could be the go.
Well, it's just a flick of the switch. We'll need the lights. Solomon under pressure. Fletcher went very short. He's going to be bundled over the line. Wallace comes in. finds Jason Johnson across half-back. All of a sudden, there's some desperate play in the Kangaroos. They're chasing and tackling. Barnard gets the ball out wide to Lucas, wants to take him on, comes through the centre square, a bad bounce, crunched to the back by Grant, inside 50, great grab by King.
But in the last 5 minutes, I think we've seen how poorly the Kangaroos have been playing for the entire match, because there hasn't been this desperation and there's been no pressure on the Bombers.
They've been asleep.
This is a different outfit, and I reckon Dennis Pagan will be replaying this and saying, well, this is the way you beat the Bombers.
Blakey sends them thundering forward. He's got it again, has he? Yes! No, he hasn't. I thought it was Lang that was in front. He paid it to Wallace.
Yeah, fair call that. Lang was in front, but Wallace had all of the ball.
I think I'm hearing firecrackers or something. There's noises going off everywhere. The crowd on their feet. Lucas.
He's off.
I think there might be lightning behind us, Hutto.
Goes inboard.
She's dark.
Well, there's plenty happening out in the middle now. Ramanauskas. Probing kick, wasn't it? Long and long. What a time to come and kick your first goal for the afternoon. And he won't kick his first goal because he's going to pass it. And Caracella takes the mark.
Well, when good sides are challenged, they always bite back, and that's what Essendon are. I mean, that was good mark by Lloyd, and good vision too to play on very quickly to find a teammate then.
Have a look at Mickey Martin here. He reckons he touched this ball. You watch this.
Nah.
You watch Mick. I touched it, he said.
Not that time, Mickey.
Meantime, Lloyd saw Blake Caracella on his own, and so this is no doubt the best way for Essendon to respond. Blake Caracella, and there'll be some noise when he kicks this one too. Don't worry about that. Oh, just squeezes it in. 2 goals to Blake Caracella. Bombers 13, and just clearing the margin out again. Close to 50 points.
Now, we believe there's been some reports in this game, and I'm certain they'll look at it on video as well. I think we might class this as a melee.
I reckon it may be, KB.
More than 4?
Yes.
So maybe a few fines there as well.
It was a big turnaround, though. Carey misses the goal at one end. It's the post, and then Caracella goes bang and makes it a 12-point turnaround.
Less than a minute left in this third quarter. A fireworks third quarter. Spider to Blakey, who's looking for Bell. Had it and lost it. Blakey pulled off the ball. Harvey just paddles the ball along. Kept his eyes on the ball. Cross half back Barnes with those clean hands. Finds Smoke and Joe to Mark Johnson. Tries short. Pickett intercepts. They need to belt the ball deep into the forward line. Time clock ticking away. 35 seconds left. Inside 50. Big pack of players. Carey came out. Loose ball. Kelthorpe had it and lost it. Pulled off the ball. Fletcher. Hurried kick back towards the edge of the centre square. Long's got it. They're running hard. Jason Johnson was out wide as well. Taken by Caracella. Couple of casual bounces. 16 seconds left in the quarter. Goes short. He's looking for Jason Johnson. Got a touch of the fumbles. Wants to keep the ball alive. Can't. Puts it over the line for a boundary throw in.
Only 7 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Kangaroos have kicked 4 goals, 3. And Essendon have kicked 3 goals, 4.
And Hawk, you'll be happy. The lights are finally coming on.
Thank you, Oz.
Lightning and thunder around. I think that's what we can hear. And it's just on. The siren will sound now for 3/4 time as soon as the boundary umpire hurls it back into play. Kevin Sheedy down, getting ready to come out and address his players. So there it goes. Well, that was certainly the most fieriest quarter we've seen so far. Lee Matthews, who knows his team, takes on the Kangaroos next Friday night. And Essendon 13-17 to 7-4, Jerry.
Well, I think we saw there, Hutto, the real Kangaroos that came out. They were tenacious, they were fiery. It took a bit of stirring up. I think perhaps Dean Wallace stirred them up, but he had plenty of Kangaroo players, in particular Wayne Carey and Corey McKernan, that were prepared to charge into him and really, I think, ignite what will be looked at by the tribunal. But Andrew Coates and James Hurd just discussing perhaps maybe who was reported, Kevin.
Could be, but it did appear to us that some numbers were taken, but We know those video watchers will be looking very closely at this game on Monday night. 95 plays 46. The Bombers in front at three-quarter time by 49 points.
Well, we should have 5 or 10 minutes at least, Hutto, of pretty competitive football. And if the Kangaroos can kick a couple, well, we're in for a great final quarter.
13-17 to 7-4. The last quarter underway at the MCG. Johnson over the top of it. Straight away, umpire in for another bounce.
I know, interesting stat here. Since quarter time, Essendon kicked 6 goals, 12-48 to the Kangaroos 7-4-46. Only outscored them by 2 points.
So it's a thriller, Dougie, since quarter time.
Absolutely.
And Bombers going forward through Solomon. Lloyd leads out to the left. That's where the kick goes. He just didn't get there, though, did he? Archer getting back, filling the hole. Glenn Archer this afternoon, 6 marks, 13 disposals.
Good player.
Shannon Grant has had 14 touches this afternoon. Up onto the wing. Carey takes the mark, looks to move quickly. What's he got? He looks got McKernan one-on-one with Wallace. That's where he heads. The troops arrive, but it's still one-on-one. Well done, Wallace, to turn him inside out. McKernan couldn't get clear, threw that out to Lang. Handball in front, but Hardwick coming through, clearing a passage for himself and going straight for the boundary line where it's over and out.
Well, he's had a bit of trouble marking Corey McKernan. He's got a cataract on one of his eyes. At night he wears one contact lens to try and take away the blurred vision. So he's obviously playing with some difficulties as far as his eyes are concerned. Spider trying to win the ball. Barnard took it from Joe Mercedes. Wins a lot of the ball. Smoking Joe. 26 possessions today. Simpson just hugging the boundary line, finally over for toss back in. 95 plays 46.
Was a big opportunity though to start the quarter in just the right fashion, Kevin, with that freebie. Really, it was one out, Wallace versus McKernan. Carey with a footy in his hand.
Boundary throw in, a good 85 metres out from Kangaroos goal. Blakey
Archer's
well.
pushed right forward too.
Gets the ball back quickly inside 50, but Hardwick has read it well, and we've been told he's one of the players who's been reported for wrestling. So the roar goes up as a transfer of play, and Smoking Joe finds Fletcher.
Fletcher, he's got, I think, Carosella deep out on the wing. No, it's Solomon. No, I was wrong. It was Romanascus, third time lucky. He had him deep and a long way away, and it was a good kick. Lloyd well up the ground. Well up the ground. Takes the mark on the wing. Mickey Martin still hasn't conceded a goal for the day. Lloyd inside 50. Oh, Hurd just stayed there. Pike kept on coming. Hurd just bodied him beautifully and read it nicely. And will he unload at the sticks? Yes, he will. Will he kick the goal? No, it dropped short. And that's Adam Simpson on the last line. Simpson's game, 14 possessions today. Blumfield's had 10 and 12. His direct opponent at the moment. So he clears the ball. Goes looking. Oh, Mickey. He flattened Matty Lloyd. Free kick. And it might be 50 if Shane Clayton doesn't give it back to him. Is that a smile from Mickey Martin? I'll tell you what, Matty was at his lunging best again there too, wasn't he? The long kick into the square. And good defensive work that time by Spider Burton, getting it over the line.
He certainly was, Hutto, but no doubt about the free kick was there. I mean, Mick stumbled and fell onto his back. And what about the foot skills of Romanassis and Lloyd on those 2 occasions, only a minute before to find their teammates? Just terrific disposal of the football, the Bombers.
Chance for the Bombers. Barnes takes the front position, ground level. Romanascus back to Hurd, quick snap. Way off target. Out of bounds on the full. So the Bombers by 49 points. They led by 47 points at quarter time. They kicked 7-5 to no score to the Kangaroos. The first time the Kangaroos have been held scoreless in the first quarter since 1978 in round 6 against Geelong. So an amazing start from the Bombers, but they've only outscored the Kangaroos by 2 points since quarter time. So the ball pumped out wide to Grant. He is held without it. So we're expecting a bit of pride from the Kangaroos in this final term. Dennis Pagan was pretty fired up with that 3/4 time break. Grant.
Basically a professional free kick, that one by Heffen. It was a one-on-one to Wayne Carey if he had got away.
Short to Bell, kicked 2 goals in that second term. Fletcher comes out. Carey couldn't win the crumb. Loose ball. Clayton kicked off the ground by Fletcher. taken by Solomon, had it and lost it. It's where the Bombers have been so good. Generally, the loose balls, they're finally won out. This time, kicked off the ground, straight back over the line by Shannon Grant.
Carey really looks like he wants to just try and not do it by himself, but he just looks so determined to not let this game end the way it started, which was the Bombers in control. And certainly the Kangaroos have picked up their game since quarter time. That certainly looked like a free kick, not paid. Blumfield's clearing, kicked to half forward. McCartney worked it back, but Hurd picked it up quickly. Heffernan's handball run down. Off half back, King straightens himself up through the middle. It's got penetration, this kick. McKernan Lang from the side.
He's got Harvey over the top, but he's not looking.
No, he's missed his chance. Grant running back to the square as well.
Kevin, is that about the first time I've seen David King penetrate the back area, go through the middle and belt the ball in quickly, which is a key to the Kangaroos?
Yes, he's only had it 10 times today. They've certainly lacked that from David King today. There can be a real catalyst for the Kangaroos, but we haven't seen that dash today by David King. This boy looks like he's got a promising future.
Well, looking straight behind Adam Lang. Oh, he's done it, I think. Kicks the goal. And so the Kangaroos getting their first of the last quarter and the first goal of the last term.
Well, he's kicked 2 goals now, Lang, and only had the 3 kicks, but there is signs of potential. And as Jared just touched on, King hasn't been that damaging player we know he can be, but on that occasion he went long into the forward line. That was a great mark too by Lang to kick his second goal, so a good goal by the Kangaroos.
Carousella off for the Bombers, 24 possessions and 2 goals and 8 marks. Danny Jacobs comes on. Spider Burton, just a glance across the centre circle at Johnny Barnes. And Big Spider got his hands on the ball. Hurd's kick smothered off the boot by Peter Bell. Grant runs into trouble. Bombers with numbers, bang, crash, don't argue, caught high. And the free kick will go to Peter Bell. And before, Jared, that you asked us about David King, that was the first time he's delivered the ball inside the forward 50 in the game so far. McKernan just couldn't get his hands on the ball. They'll just sidetrack and concede ground. Now Wellman comes forward, tries to pinpoint it to Jacobs. Caught by Pike, he's crunched to the ground, loose ball. Fletcher had it and lost it. Wellman, the juggler. Coming through was McKernan. Didn't take the ball. Now the whistle is gone. And the free kick is coming back to the Bombers. It's going to Fletcher. He's got a big smile on his face. What a season he's had. He's been the consummate fullback.
They've had to lay a lot of tackles, haven't they, the Kangaroos, just even in the last few minutes.
Wallace. He's going to take him on, fancies his pace, goes to ground. McKernan thought he had him. Fletcher stands and delivers as a high ball. Big fist away came from Spider Burton. Moorcroft can't keep it alive.
Geez, that's what we saw late in that third quarter. That was a huge opportunity missed by McKernan to bury Dean Wallace. I mean, just psychologically and for the, I guess, the spirit and their belief in themselves, it was just would have been a classic tackle.
Mercedes, well, Barnard's kick, still dangerous for the Essendon side. Bell conceded a lot of ground and King wasn't necessarily in a better position. Rode the tackle, got the handball away in time. Pike into the danger zone, but plenty of Bombers there. Dean Solomon marking and quickly looking to lay it off. Most of his options are manned up, but one of them on the outer side, Jason Johnson, wasn't, but he decides to come Members side instead and get Chris Heffernan. Johnson over the top. The Bombers just starting to go a bit shorter here, up onto the wing. Danny Jacobs got Hurd in short, might go longer. Does. Lloyd out across centre half forward. Martin got in front, did well to get the ball down, but here's Pike in support. Martin, Lloyd tried to smother, couldn't. McKernan did everything but take the mark. No, he's got a free for over the shoulder. Carey's one-on-one with Fletcher, but he just kicked it down blindly. Carey wasn't happy, but Lang has taken another mark coming from the side.
Well, he's been the big plus for the Kangaroos since half-time, hasn't he? He's booted 2 goals. He's given them some marking strength on the forward line, tacks the ball really hard, keeps his eye on the ball and plays it on its merits.
Good thing about it too, I think he's prepared to play in front of Adam Lang, and got rewarded then against 3 Essendon opponents, and he's kicked 2 goals and been pretty good.
He's taken 3 marks, had just 5 possessions, but spent quite a bit of time on the bench as well. And as Dougie said, a chance for his 3rd goal here. And for the 2nd for the quarter for the Kangaroos. It just has enough on it and carries the pack for a goal.
Well, I like his attitude. I was speaking to Adam Lang a few weeks ago when he was in the reserves, because he started the season off, pretty well and did some nice things. But I mean, he was honest with himself. He said, there's McKernan just limping a little bit there with I see the stop marks down the back. Here's the mark from Adam Lang. But he said, look, my last few weeks I've really struggled in the seniors.
Good, honest player that's going one some places.
It's the top of Dennis Pagan's head, we can see, and Simon Madden, one of the 378 games for the Bombers, is the ruck coach with the Kangaroos. Now here's Martin, who was in a bear hug that time with Lloyd. Pickett just weaves his way out of trouble to Simpson, drops it in short, looking for Grant, slides onto the ball, tries to keep it alive. Blakey, fresh air shot. Archer has battled hard today. Back to Grant. So they'll share the ball around cross half back, just looking for an opening. McKernan just shielded his eyes. What a grab. Surely that's a great mark. I thought that was jolted out of his hands, because it's a mark if it's jolted out of your hands with body contact, because this is a great mark. Look at that.
Guts. A lot of guts and determination for Blakey then.
If you take the mark and it's jolted out of your hand through a collision, then it's paid a mark.
Didn't hold it long enough, KB.
No, he had it. Great courage. And he had the ball. He had purchase on the ball. It was just the jolt took it out.
Corey McKernan, we spoke about him imparting some damage on Wayne Carey. Just got to increase that awareness if possible.
Johnson, great kick, finds Jacobs, who looks a very likely prospect. Another one of the Bomber young players. Chance for the high flyers. Big pack of players. Barnes the crummer. Quick snap. Ricochets off his opponent. Loose ball. Under pressure, McCartney pumps the ball back towards the half-back line. Grant, you'll be happy to see the ball over the line.
Well, he's been one player, I reckon, lifted his work rate, Grant. Had a very slow start to the game. He's had 20 touches. Now, here's the mark that KB was touching on.
That's a clean mark.
He had the ball fairly long, didn't he? But anyway, Grant's been pretty good since quarter time. Had the ball fairly for a while. Probably didn't have the ball that long, KB.
No, but if he's got the ball, if he's got the ball in his hands and the jolt knocks it out, Doug. That was in slow motion too, Doug. If you didn't realise, Wellman rockets the ball.
You got to mark it, I reckon.
To Johnson through the centre square, drills it down to the half-forward line. Ramanaskas pumps the ball long. Here's Lloyd and Mighty Mick, a one-on-one contest. Mick will be desperate for Lloyd not to kick a goal today. Grant under pressure, heads for the line.
And gets it out to half-back where King keeps it in and does pretty well, keeping it alive. Rawlings at half-back. We're about halfway through this last quarter. There's a mark taken by Barnes. Goes in short and plenty of open space for Long. Takes the mark, looks around. Lloyd leads into the pocket and then doubles back to the square. And that'll be fascinating in this last 10 minutes just to watch whether or not Matthew Lloyd can score a goal. His return for the afternoon, 7 kicks, 4 handballs, 6 marks and 4 behinds. Into the pack, diving effort from Archer. Jacobs kept it up. Mercedes almost a torpedo from a standing start. Whatever it was, it went through. Bombers' first goal of the last quarter took them 14 minutes to achieve. 14-17 to 9-4.
Well, they've had 11 goal kickers now, the Bombers, out of their 14 goals. And here we are, we see Mercedes been very good in that midfield role. He's had 30 touches now. It's a big kick by Joe Mercedes. No doubt John Barnes has been the best big man on the ground by an absolute mile. Here we go, here's that mark again, normal speed. Play on, KB, I think.
Oh, you're a tough
Who
man,
knows?
Doug. 11 individual goal kickers. The record for a club is the Bombers. They hold it for 16.
Aussie Mark Mercury, we haven't seen much of him since about half-time. Is he injured?
Yeah, he is, Jared. It's hard to find out what the problem is, but he's definitely limping on the bench.
Everyone's got a hamstring down at Bomberland, or the flu. In fact, sometimes they have flu-related hamstrings. Long, clever play to Jacobs. Paddles the ball to 50. Hurd under pressure, did well. He's got it. Lloyd is marked in front of Mighty Mick. And he's not happy.
Well, you think he'll kick this one.
67,000, the crowd too.
Well, I tell you what. You watch Mick Martin on the mark. He'll be jumping up and down. The arms will be going like windmills.
Well, KB's kicked 4 points so far in the game, Lloyd, and he's had the 7 marks.
So Matthew Lloyd, 58 goals for the season. Can he kick his first goal of the afternoon? He's got it.
He'd be devastated, Mick.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely devastated.
But when you go through the full forge of kick goals on him this year, it's a remarkable small tally.
Yep. And it really was a 50-50 ball. He just got out-bustled that time.
Matthew Lloyd is amazingly strong, isn't he, for a young man? He's really built up, playing in front. Even Mick couldn't get past him.
Well, they've had 32 scoring shots, and he's only kicked the 1 goal, so it'd be fair to say he's done a great job, Mickey Martin.
And again, it was James Hurd who was involved in that passage of play. He's had 29 possessions and 10 marks. James Hurd, and there he is again. Watching on is Masidi, who's also got a lot of it. 30 possessions for Masidi. Gets the ball forward. McCartney, Pickett over the top. Archer came charging through. They're all jumping on top there. 15-17 to 9-4. 67,152. And they saw an amazing first quarter by Essendon. Absolutely stunned. And then they saw a bit of fire late in the third quarter that really got them to their feet. In between, it's been a pretty dour struggle. Blakey towards the line. Jason Johnson. And then the ball out of back. Ball.
Archer.
Free kick.
Against Glenn Archer on that occasion.
Heffernan. Edge of the centre square, penetrating kick. Lloyd again looks dangerous. This time chipping in was Pike. Lucas ripped out of his arms by Martin. It's a hurried kick back towards the half-back line. Blakey did well, running with the flight of the ball. Johnson. Bell burrows in for the ball. Over the top is Heffernan. The ball up on the half-forward flank for the Bombers. Peter Bell on screen. 20 possessions today and 6 marks. He's booted 2 goals. Both those goals coming in the second quarter. Archer having a crack at the ruck work. Blakey kicks a high ball straight over the line, out of bounds on the full.
So, Kevin, from what you've seen today, would you be happy to say that the Kangaroos are a definite chance to beat the Bombers come September?
No, not yet. Not yet. I don't think we've seen enough today to suggest that they can threaten the Bombers.
What about Carlton, KB?
Yesterday,
They'll take them on in round 20?
I thought Carlton yesterday were fantastic. Got a lot of confidence, a lot of players playing well. I think they're more of a chance at the moment than what the Kangaroos are. Spied up. It was a long stretch. Barnes. Well, he's virtually shoveled the ball back to Jacobs, who does well. Gets around Spider, Burton, also Clayton. Martin got a fist to the ball. James Hurd. A centering kick. Unselfish play.
Brilliant.
And Heffernan is marked. And they can raffle it also. Michael Long's there. He wants it short. Finally gives it to Wellman.
Jared, just a quick one to pose you. Glenn Archer's gone off, obviously, for giving away that free kick.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game, is that a good thing or a bad thing for Glenn Archer to rip him off?
Well, I think it's just the policy that Dennis Pagan has built his premiership side around. If you do something undisciplined, you're off, and it doesn't matter whether it's the first minute or the last.
And Wellman has become the 13th Bomber to kick a goal.
So a pretty good thing, I reckon, Aussie. You just got to set the standard, and Dennis Pagan continues to do it. James Hurd's talking about setting a standard. I think a couple of the players were disappointed in that first couple of minutes of the last term that he didn't centre it when he kicked it out on the full. I saw young Mark Johnson, number 1, Just a youngster saying that, but it didn't take him long to pick it up. That time he sent it at the top. Bang.
Dennis Pagan has just finished his conversation with Glenn Archer. Essendon 16-17 have kicked 3 straight in this last quarter. The Roos 2 straight. 6.5 minutes remaining. And here go the Bombers again out of the middle. King, this day 10 kicks, 2 handballs and 5 marks. And you can see what's ahead of him there. Pike through the centre. That was young Spall, couldn't take the mark. Makepeace comes in from the side. Spall goes again off the left boot.
He's a bit stiff because that was just a great goal.
I think it's going to be paid.
He's going to go down and ask the goal umpire, so this will be paid. This will be his first goal in AFL football for young Spall.
With his first kick.
This was a big goal.
So something for John Spall to be very proud of.
It's a bit anticlimactic, the circumstances with which he kicked it, but it still takes nothing away from what is a fantastic kick in footy. On the 50, right on the angle. It's a beauty.
You just wonder if he's a left footer or a right footer, because it's a great kick if he's the right footer, wrong side of the body. Hurd having a spell has been terrific. He's had 30 touches, 10 marks and kicked a goal. Back to his Brownlow medal form from a couple of years ago.
Find a vote for him, Doug?
We may be able to squeeze him in, I think.
Bombers by 49 points. They led by 47 points at quarter time. Pickett. So I suppose that's something the Kangaroos can take away from the game, that since quarter time they've virtually matched the Bombers. Blakey kicks the ball down. He's looking for McKernan. He's taking the mark. He's taken 7 marks in his 150th game. And there was a big altercation during the latter stages of the third term with Dean Wallace and about 15 other players. Might have even been 25 players, because I think at one stage, Doug, I think you said there was only 2 players not involved in it. Mick Martin and also Matty Lloyd. Jacobs goes to the ground, just shoveled the ball out, taken by Lucas. Started the ball rolling for the Bombers with the opening goal of the match. Kicks the ball wide, Ramanauskas started on the bench. King trying to work his way back into the game. All tied up by Blumfield. And they'll ball it up on the half-forward flank.
KB, we know that Essendon are a very, very even side, but there's one player today that I have seen a fair bit of Essendon this year. It's John Barnes. I reckon he has put his hand up. He's playing disciplined football. And once again today, he's been the best player, well, the best big man on the ground, in my opinion. He's been terrific.
7 marks and 16 possessions. Burton finds Blakey from a standing start, and Solomon again across halfback.
Well, will the umpire do anything about that?
I don't think so,
No.
Hutto.
Have another look at it.
Well, that was
Behind.
accidental.
Yep. And Solomon went down like he'd been shot. Gets it to centre half forward. That's a good kick. Barnes well clear of Burton. Johnny Barnes has taken 8 marks. Goes for Michael Long. Long hasn't scored today. So do you think they'll go through the season undefeated, Dougie?
I have no doubt about that, Hutto. And at the end of the day, you're going to look at them. If they get beaten in the finals, it would be fair to say that Sheeds has failed. That's what pressure he's going to be under, I think.
Not a great kick, as we can see there. Blumfield trying to come from behind. The ball went over the line and out of bounds.
Well, maybe, Hutto, when I say that, the big test will come, the big blockbuster will be round 20 Friday night when Carlton take on this, and that's going to be their real test, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear you and Jared's thoughts on that. The ball thrown in. Lang clearing kick towards the boundary line.
Jared's speechless.
Yeah, he's just a bit stunned on that one.
In fact, he's lost his voice completely. He's got a touch of laryngitis. He's done well to get through the game.
He's stumped with that.
Done well to get through the game. Boundary throw in, good 65 metres around from goal. Little Moorcroft fancies himself in the ruck, does the work at ground level. It was great work to fail on Solomon to Ramanauskas. Some youngsters combined. Pickett comes through hard. Johnson on hands and knees. Hand pass out to Moorcroft. He might get his just desserts and kicks a goal. Well, he did the ruck work. He then on his hands and knees got the ball out. Ramanauskas was involved as well. And then finally, he was able to get the ball back, Doug. Let's have a look at him. In the ruck.
Yeah, here he goes, KB.
Goes to ground, shovels the ball out, Solomon. Ramanauskas involved. Didn't really hit his target. Pickett clashed. And there it is. And a great snap.
14 goal kickers now for the Bombers.
Wayne Jackson enjoying the action this afternoon. I would have enjoyed that effort from Gary Moorcroft to really a lesson to young players there.
Well, I know that the Bombers are in the record book with 16 individual goal kickers. That's the most any club's ever had in the history of the game.
16 KB.
16 in the days when there was a 20-man side. So they've got 14. They've got just over 3 minutes to see if they can equal that record.
Well, who do we need to score goals?
We need Michael Long to kick a goal.
Bell.
Hardwick needs to kick a goal. Dean Wallace needs to kick one. Heffernan.
Jacobs.
And Dustin Fletcher. And Jacobs.
Harvey. This is Shannon Grant. And the low pass. No, just couldn't find his man. Wellman the spoiler. And it's out of bounds. 2 minutes 50 remaining. 3 goals to Scott Lucas, 2 goals to Blake Caracella, and as KB said, the rest individual goal kickers, McKernan and Barnes. Oh, McKernan grabbed it out of the ruck. Fierce work at the bottom by Shannon Grant. And Rawlings gets to his feet. It's twice you've had to write that down for me, KB, today. Brady Rawlings. Blakey. Fletcher over the top. Rawlings again. Little give. Harvey. Snap at goal. Back into the square. Hard one for Capuano. Clayton was there as well. Masiti just mopping up. Johnson. He's a general back there for someone so young and inexperienced. And that's a good mark by McKernan. 8 marks now for Corey McKernan. And on his day, he could lob this through.
Should have a shot from here, I think. Even though it's late in the game.
Well, he might as well. Minute 45 remaining. He goes for it. He unwinds. It's a big kick. It was right to the line. And I think it's a goal. So Corey McKernan kicks his second. And the Kangaroos 11th.
Well, anyway, he's been fairly reasonable, Corey McKernan, in his 150th game. It's a great kicker, particularly late in the game. As you said, Hutto, he's at the 8 marks now and 13 touches and kicked 2 goals. A couple of players have lifted their work rate since quarter time. I reckon Shannon Grant's been very good on a wing. He's had 23 touches now. And John Blakey's been a very hard try for him as well. And Archer was pretty reasonable. Mickey Martin's did a terrific job on Matthew Lloyd as well.
Maybe some signs coming back for Corey McKernan there. I suppose consistency this year has been one of the problems for his game, but 8 strong marks today, and maybe just that confidence could be returning. A couple of goals in game number 150. We've just got a minute and a half left in the game. Bombers by 49 points. The lead was 47 points at quarter time. That opening quarter, that onslaught by the Bombers was just unbelievable. Johnson, 55 metres out to the square. Caracella comes off hands.
Free kick.
And pulled off the ball and taking the free kick. Here's Adam Lang, who's booted 3 goals. Came on just after half-time from memory and kicked 3 goals. Finds himself now in defence. Goes short. Grant. Yeah, they've got players out wide here. Loose players, they can share it around. Lang has come all the way down from the kick-out. And kicks back towards Corey McKernan. A test of strength with Wallace. Clayton runs hard, front of the pack, edge of the centre square, pumps the ball deep into the forward line. Back there was Barnard. He'll have to take the free kick. Caught too high. And he's a very handy player, Paul Barnard. He plays a lot of positions, can play tall. He's got a lot of strength about him. Got a lot of Essendon players who probably in the same mould. They're very strongly built, very hard at the ball. I know Sheech hasn't gone for all skill with his players. He likes a pretty good mix. got their brilliant players in Mercury, and of course Lucas has got it now, and James Hurd and the Michael Longs, but they've got a lot of players who have just got that ability to be really tough in the clinches.
I think you're right there, KB, and just touching on Barnard, he has the ability to go forward and be a goal kicker for him as well. So, I mean, they're just a great even side, aren't they, the Bombers? I mean, today, here we go, 20 players that deliver the ball inside 50. Only 2 players, Moorcroft and Wallace, haven't done that. So they share the workload around, and 14 goal kickers, as you said, Kev, before.
Well, last second of the match, there it is. So the Bombers make it 13 from 13. And the Kangaroos, who didn't score in the opening quarter, ultimately suffered and had no real chance, the way the Bombers played, of getting back into it. They kicked 7-5 in the first quarter to 0. And after that, it was a struggle. 17-17, 119 to 11 goals for 70. So the theme song goes out around the MCG. I think Richard Osborne's down with James Hurd.
Well, Hurdy, 13 in a row in the end, a pretty good win.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we've, North Melbourne, great side, and to beat them was just fantastic.
And 14 individual goal kickers. Great team effort.
Yeah, Lloydie didn't get a bag or anything. We just sort of shared it around. I think if you're going to beat good sides at North Melbourne and Carlton, you really have to share the goals around.
And yourself again. I know you don't like talking about yourself, but in good form.
Yeah, it's just good fun, to run out, a bit, sort of wintry. This is what football's all about.
Thanks, Hurdy. Good boy.
Well, he was more than just a bit of good fun for James Hurd. 22 kicks, 8 handballs, 10 marks, 3 tackles, 1 goal. An outstanding performance. And again, he'll probably be in the votes and be a chance for the Brownlow. Essendon, 17-17, defeated the Kangaroos, 11 goals for.